I like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. Alright, good looking out.
Tinted windows screaming I'm switching lanes, up north to down south. Everybody trying to figure out how I put it down. I took my show on the road straight out of town. Pee-wee is my nigga, so you know I brought some crooks with me.
1998, they tried to throw the book at me.
Tell me what you see every time you take a look at me. A straight B, I only be where the hookers be. An old head, but still can pull any fly chick. One thing's for sure, you never see me ride a nigga dick. I got a thoroughbred who loves to call me pretty daddy. Through Alabama, getting head in a pink caddy when I come through. Everybody knows me, the young niggas love me. They call me, they OG. Going through your homework about the shit that I spit. They gon' tell you that nigga Shank is legit. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lanes.
A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lanes.
A chicken box and a half and half when I'm switching lanes. What y'all know about that Baltimore chicken box and a half and half? Shout out to all my Baltimore people. We're going to get this demonstration started. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. The times when America was great compared to 2025. Let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Let me salute to the chat. Salute, Jamie. Salute, Brother Nazir. Positive Vibes, salute. No Filter LA, salute. Appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute to the replay gang. Salute, Marty. Salute, Tina. Salute, Sharon. Salute, Big Pressure. Salute, Colton. All right. When was America great? All right. Salute, Nikki. Nikki says, my apologies to No Filter LA and Positive. Well, I was multitasking and didn't realize I was hiding your comments. It truly was a mistake. All right. Salute, Nicole Carter. I see you. I see y'all. Salute. All right. Now, what was Shank talking about? Shank is always talking about America was greater than what it is today. Now, y'all seen my first picture that I put up. How many of y'all remember Fat Albert and the Gang? If you were a fan, if you watch Fat Albert's on Saturday mornings, if you watch Fat Albert before you went to school in the morning, drop a one in the chat. I think everybody was a fan of Fat Albert. You had Fat Albert, of course. You had Bill. You had Rudy. You had Russell. You had Yuck Mouth. You had Bucky. You had No Face. You had Weird Harold. You had Weird Harold. Marty says, Shank, is this a demonstration I should be in? Yes, Marty, yes. Yes, I want you to stay right where you at, Marty. You grew up on Fat Albert, Marty. I think we all grew up on Fat Albert, like Big Pressure said, hey. But during these times compared to today's time, like if we compare the cartoons of the 70s, if we compare them to the cartoons of today, we know completely different day and time. Completely different day and time. Salute the lady Cara. She says, my late father robbed a bank unarmed wearing a Fat Albert mask. made out with 975 bucks. Haha. He was a white male, blonde hair, blue eyes, mullet ponytail. Hey, 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 give me your money. Now that's funny. That's funny. Marty says, I thought you were going political. Positive Vibe says the 90 cartoons was good too. I mean, here's my thing, y'all. Here's my thing. It's all, in my opinion, political. All right. All right. I got another one. Tina says, Shank, I think it was great back when we used to sleep with the doors open at night and family and friends all get together and have a good time all weekend, especially when my father and mother lived. Can y'all imagine? Can y'all imagine going back to those days? Make America great again. Come on, y'all. Let's step outside of the box. Let's step outside of the box. Can y'all imagine going back to those days when you could actually leave your door open? How many of y'all remember Punky Brewster? I know y'all remember Punky Brewster. Remember Punky Brewster? That's another one of my shows. I love watching Punky Brewster. I think Punky Brewster came on at 8, either 8 or 8:30. I love watching Punky Brewster. You got 1984 and you got 2022. Punky Brewster was one of my shows. Now, if you ain't from Baltimore, if you ain't from the DMV area, Baltimore, DC, because this was before DC had their baseball team, but Virginia, DC, Baltimore, Delaware, y'all remember the Oreos? Come on now. Come on. I know y'all remember the Baltimore Oreos. Drop a one. Drop a one if you was a fan of the Baltimore Orioles. This is when America was great. I'm not saying it was perfect. I'm not saying it was the best. But come on, the Baltimore Orioles? Come on, y'all. Know y'all remember this. Holly Berry, ladies, I know y'all remember the hairstyles. Come on, ladies. Come on now, ladies. Remember the days when the ladies had the hairstyles? Baps. But y'all remember when y'all ladies was rocking the hairstyles. Y'all still, do a little something here or there, but nothing like back in the days. Know y'all remember Baps. But most important, remember the hairstyles. Who remember Run DMC and the Beastie Boys? Look, no disrespect to Eminem. No disrespect to Eminem. I think Eminem is in the top 10 greatest rappers. But the Beastie Boys plus Run DMC? Come on now. The Beastie Boys? These were the days. These were the days when America was great compared to today. Nikki says, my hair was similar to that for my wedding. Big Pressure says, I don't remember America being great, but I wouldn't want to live in any other country. Compared to today, that's what it's all about, Big Pressure. Compared to today, these times. There you go, Jamie. No sleep till Brooklyn. The Beastie Boys was jamming. Remember Brass Monkey, that funky monkey? Oh, man. Run DMC? Y'all remember Run DMC? Times was definitely great. My Adidas. Now I'm going to hit y'all with one. And then we're going to jump into the commentary. Who remembers Cool Lee High? Who remembers Cool Lee High? Positive says that's where Shank get that funky saying from. Who remembers Cool Lee High? These definitely were some good days. You actually had to be there. You actually had to be there to really appreciate it and really understand it. Now, when we talk about Donald Trump and Donald Trump's Make America Great Again, it just depends on how you look at it. It just depends on how you look at it. Some people look at it as if Donald Trump is talking about make America racist again. Well, I got news for y'all. America has been racist. America will still continue to be racist with Donald Trump or without him. Donald Trump is the least of our problems. I'm telling y'all. Trust me, y'all. Donald Trump is the least of our problems. 70% I agree with Donald Trump. 30% I don't. But that's with anybody. That's with anybody. Some of the stuff with Obama, I agreed with. Some of the stuff I disagreed with. Some of the stuff with Biden, I agree. Some of the stuff I disagree. Well, Shank, what are some of the things that you agree with Donald Trump? Make America great again. That's what I agree with Trump. Make America great again. Once again, in my opinion, it's deeper than what it actually says. Make America great again. It's deeper. And if we go deeper into it, we'll see exactly what it means. Make America great again. Once again, the morals, the values, the principles that we stood on compared to today. Now, if we couldn't compare those days to today's time, if there was no comparison as far as which was the better times, then I would be like, what is he talking about? Make America great again. If there was no comparison. But it's a big comparison. Let's just start with the music. Let's go to this music. Run DMC and the BC Boys. Compare Run DMC and the BC Boys music to today's music, and please tell me which music would y'all rather have. People, and I'm just going to say this one time, okay? Because I keep saying it over and over again, all right? Let me come to Marty's comment. Marty says, Shank, Trump has no morals or respect. Fine. Let me go to the Minister Farrakhan, all right? That's fine that Trump doesn't have morals or values. That's fine. Can't get caught up on whether or not he has morals or values. Can't get caught up on that. In that Crash Dummy commercial, right? The Crash Dummies had a message for us, right? Now, do we bypass the Crash Dummies commercial because the crash dummies are dummies. At the end of the Crash Dummies commercial, what does it say? You can learn a lot from a dummy. So just because Donald Trump may not have morals, that still can't stop him from delivering a message about morals. I don't get high. I don't use street drugs, but that still don't stop me from delivering a message about why you shouldn't do drugs. So just because he may not have morals, that don't mean that he can't teach us. That don't mean he can't point out to us that we need to get back to our morals. I want to go to the Minister Farrakhan. Pay attention, please. And remember, we don't want to get caught up on the messenger. What's the phrase? Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot these messengers that are bringing you words of wisdom. Listen to the minister and let me know if y'all agree with the minister. Drop a 1 if you agree with the minister. Drop a 2 if you disagree. But listen to the minister.
Trump, this is a message to the president. I'm here to talk to all of you that are shaking in your boots. What are we gonna do? That crazy man, he's the president and he don't like black people.
Oh, look at my African American over here.
He don't like Mexicans.
They came in illegally. They're destroying our country. We're getting them out.
He don't like Muslims.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Maybe so. Who cares? We don't give a damn what he likes or what he don't like. The future is not his. The future is ours.
Do anybody agree with the minister? The minister said it plain and simple. Who cares? Trump don't like blacks. Trump don't like Muslims. Trump don't like Mexicans. Trump don't like this. Trump a racist. Trump this, Trump that. Who cares what the man likes? It's bigger than Trump. It's way bigger than Trump. Because if we get caught up on Trump, that's where we're going to stay. And we won't focus on what needs to be focused on because we caught up on Trump. Let's say y'all get caught up on Shank Rock. Let's just say y'all caught up on Shank Rock. But let's say I deliver the message, but you're caught up on Shank Rock. You're going to miss the message. Vice versa with any of you. Let's say Miss Parker. Let's say Nikki. Prime example. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, Nikki. I don't mean to use you, but this is a prime example. Now, as in my opinion, as excellent of the autopsy in the Shanquella Robinson case that Nikki Lynn does, I believe that's why when she does the autopsy, I keep my mouth shut, I drop down, and I leave the panel to her. She does an excellent job with that autopsy. But let's say you got somebody, let's say you got some people that don't like Nikki Lynn and get caught up on Nikki Lynn, right? What are they going to miss? They're going to miss the excellent demonstration on that autopsy that Nikki Lynn brings. Once again, if we are caught up on Donald Trump, if we caught up on him, we're going to stay there. for those that just pulled up, let me take y'all back to some times when America was great compared to today's time. As Nikki Lynn said, Shank, I had them kind of hairstyles during my wedding, but look at the hairstyles. Y'all remember, ladies, when y'all had them hairstyles, right? Compare the hairstyles during these days, compare them to today's time. Many of y'all, if not all, had these hairstyles. Once again, if you from Baltimore, if you from DC, if you from Maryland, if you from Virginia, if you from Delaware, the Baltimore Orioles back in the 80s, the Baltimore Orioles back in the 80s, these definitely were some great times. The Baltimore Orioles, those were definitely some great times compared to today's time. Yes, James. Frank Robinson? Come on. Frank Robinson? Eddie Murray? Cal Ripken? Senior and junior? Come on now. Punky Brewster? Come on. Who didn't love watching Punky Brewster? These were some good times. The TV shows. The TV shows. Punky Brewster? Come on. Look at the way that the little girls dressed in 1984. Look at how the girls dressed back in 1984 compared to the way these little girls dress today. Run DMC and the Beastie Boys? Salute, Doug. I see you, Doug. Let me get everybody to throw up some prayer hands for Miss Callie. Let me get the Rock Squad to throw up some prayer hands for Miss Callie. Hold on, sister. Hold on, sister. Things will get better. Run DMC and the Beastie Boys? Cooley High? Who didn't cry? Who didn't cry when Coach Cheeks died? Come on, y'all, come on. Preach. Come on. Fat Albert? What my homegirl? I gotta find your comment too, Lady Cora. What Lady Cora say about Fat Albert? Lady Cora said her late father. Lady Cora said her late father robbed a bank wearing a Fat Albert mask. That's funny. Fat Albert in the game? Come on. Times wasn't great then. I ain't saying they was the best. I'm not saying they was the best. I'm sure we had better times. Fat Albert? Lady Cora said my late father robbed a bank unarmed wearing a Fat Albert mask made out with $975. He was a white male, blonde hair, blue eyes, mullet ponytail. Hey, 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 give me your money. Come on, Fat Albert. And what the minister say? Let me run the minister back. Listen and just pay attention to what the minister says. Just listen. See, this is when, as Americans, this is when we got to look at the man in the mirror. I say it all the time. What are we doing to make America great again? Bump Donald Trump. But what are we doing? Listen to the minister.
Mr. Trump, this is a message to the president. I'm here to talk to all of you that are shaking in your boots. What are we gonna do? That crazy man, he's the president and he don't like black people.
Oh, look at my African American over here.
He don't like Mexicans.
They came in illegally. They're destroying our country. We're getting them out.
He don't like Muslims.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Maybe so. Who cares? We don't give a damn what he likes or what he don't like. The future is not his. The future is ours.
You can't get no plainer than that. You can't get no plainer than that. Let me drop the link. So when I look at the Make America Great Again, that's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm perceiving it. You know, I'm looking at it like, all right. See, I pay attention to what a person says. I don't run off with my own understanding of it. I pay attention to it. Now, if he said, let's make America racist again, that's what he said. Let us put African Americans back in bondage. That's what he said. But he ain't say that. He said, let us make America great again. In the Bible, in Genesis, when God created man, when he created male and female, God said, let us make man in our image. That go to us. Let us. So now Trump is saying, let us make America great again. Talk to me, Nikki.
Like a troublemaker.
Come on, Nikki.
You be doing these demonstrations because you be trying to piss us off.
No, Nick, no. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. I'm in trouble now.
I just
I
have
can
one.
say, you know, Marty gonna get started.
I had to pray when he put that link down. I had to pray, but I just want to get just one clarification, just one, and then I'm gonna drop back down. Hey Shay, hey my love.
Hey, Marty.
It's not, and you want me to hear you, and you just kept saying you when you played Farrakhan's tape, I agree with what he said because I don't give a damn what a person thinks about me. I'm not hung up on Trump. Let's get that clear. Do I like him? No. But I'm not hung up on him where I won't receive a message. How can you receive a message from someone that wants to you said he wants to make America great again. I said he wants to put all of us back into poverty. He wants that's my opinion. That's what he wants to do. He has and then about respect and no morals. Respect and morals was from way back when. So if respect you're respecting yourself, respecting your elders, having morals about yourself was good back then, there are still people that have those things. And those people that don't, I don't be around them. I am not going to listen to someone who's trying to destroy or pull down people. So it's not that I'm missing his message because I don't give a damn about his message because he doesn't have one, in my opinion. But he's not doing anything, not just for black people. A lot of people think before when he said, "Oh, he's gonna stop the food stamp card or whatever that EBT card or SNAP or whatever city you live in is called." But don't you know? And those people know that it's not just going to affect the African American people. It's do the statistics. I was telling somebody that the other day. There's more white people on food stamps than black people. So if Juju gets his food stamps cut off, you don't think Becky gonna get hers cut off? This is what I'm saying about people. It's not just he's not doing anything for black people or trying to hurt the black people. He's not. He just wants so much power and he's going to corrupt and destroy our people, except for the rich billionaires, in my opinion. So I'm not shooting the messenger because he doesn't have a message for me. And I'm done and I yield the floor.
Appreciate you, Marty. On you, Nikki. We'll wait for Nikki to come in. Salute, Nikia. Salute, Nika. I always mess up names, Nika. My bad. Salute, Nika. Appreciate you for pulling up. Salute, Nika.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was saying let's just focus on some facts, right? Because I was talking to one of my good friends, a Rock Squad member. I'm not gonna say her name, but we were talking about some things that is so true. And I put some of it in the chat, but you bypassed the comment. So one of the things is black women are the most disrespected out of all. Like we fall at the bottom of the totem pole. You got white men, then you got we can debate whether black men or white women come first. But then, next. But black women fall at the bottom of that
I agree.
list. That's the
I
first
agree.
thing.
I agree.
Second of all, when we talk about, America being great again back in the days, first of all, I agree that things looked ideal 30 years ago, 40 years ago, because I was a kid. I had no responsibilities. So if all I had to do was get up and watch Saturday morning cartoons and eat a meal that my mom made and not worry about the light bill or the water bill and just go to school and make good grades. Yeah, things were pretty great. I probably knew who the president was, but I really didn't care. Um, it's just a lot of things that as a child I didn't quite worry or concern myself with. And then there are just so many other things like, Farrakhan. We don't care. Of course we care. Black women care because again, we're the most disrespected and we're at the bottom of the totem pole. And back then when things were so great, they weren't that great for women. And so I also put in the chat that, in order for America to become great, you have to continue to progress. You need to evolve. You don't turn back the hands of time to make things great. You have to continue to add on and build on to achieve this level of success that we're trying to get to. Because back in the day, women weren't expected to be educated. They weren't expected to work outside the home. They reared the kids. They weren't expected to help financially. But for that reason, they also didn't have a voice.
That's true.
So when your husband or your grandfather had a second family on the other side of town, women were forced to accept what was going on in their household. You had a lot of abuse,
That's true.
physical and SA, and women just had no voice. And nowadays, I could tell you, not all men, but a lot of men, a lot of progressive men appreciate the fact that women are educated, appreciate the fact that women can help them build a home as well as pay the bills and achieve more success. There are a lot of men who don't mind helping care for their children and being homemakers and doing it together, working together as a family unit. And there are men who don't mind their women having a voice. And I'm be quite honest, I wouldn't even want to be with a man who needs to silence me, who needs to pay all the bills, so therefore I can't have my say. And as I stated in the chat, it doesn't matter how many degrees I have, how many homes I own, what's my political affiliation. When I walk into a building, most people are just going to see me as a Black woman. They won't know that I gave an autopsy demonstration. They won't know that I have degrees in psychology. They won't know that I was an instructor. They won't know that I taught my kids at home. They won't know how successful my children are. And it won't matter because until they start to know me, they won't realize that I've come a long way just because things have changed for women. But if you're saying make America great again, that we have to go back to where we were. Going back to where we were means that Nikki Lynn wouldn't be able to have an education. Nikki Lynn wouldn't be able to work outside the home. Nikki Lynn wouldn't even be able to purchase a home.
Let me
And
slide in.
so, go ahead.
With me, not when it comes to how women were treated. That's why I never bring that up. But go ahead, Nikki.
Okay, so then how do you pick and choose, and forgive my language on this, what asshole policies of Trump that we resort back to and what makes America great and what doesn't? Because I said this and I said this to my friends. I don't 100% believe in anything or anybody's ideals or ideology. Although I'm Democrat, and I'll proudly say that. But I don't 100% believe in everything Democrats stand for, nor do I 100% believe in everything Republicans stand for. I could see across party lines. But Trump is an asshole. And to me, a lot of things that he do are inhumane. So again, when he starts talking make America great again, and he wants to go back, he wants to turn back the hands of time, then how do we pick and choose what parts were great for who?
Let's stay right
'Cause
there.
they certainly weren't that great for women. Go ahead.
Let's stay right there. The morals, the values, and the principles. That's all I focus on. The morals that we had, the values, the principles that we stood on. For me, that's what I get out of Make America Great Again. And I'm not going no more to the left. I'm not going no more to the right. I'm staying right there with going back to the morals, the values, and the principles that we stand on. And it's true, like Marty did say, there are still some of us that still have those morals, the values, and the principles. However, it's a small percentage of us that still holds on to good morals, values, and principles. So I'm just only speaking on the morals, the values, and the principles. Come on back in, Nikki.
But his morals suck. He cheated on every last one of his wives. I mean, again, somehow grandpappies did the same thing. Somehow daddies did the same thing. And then again, you have men out here. If we talk about morals and values, then we shouldn't have single moms. We shouldn't have women who needed to go out here in the workforce and take care of the home. Because we shouldn't have daddies leaving the household, making women have to stand up and be mommy and daddy and rear the children, because it shouldn't be no single mothers. You should did everything you could have to maintain the household. But instead you running around with, these little side chicks. And so is Donald Trump.
And
Where's his morals and values?
and I won't cut you off, but then if we look at it on the flip side of things, women back in the days, they did just as much cheating. Grandma did just as much cheating as Papa. And especially today. So when it comes to the men and the women, it's really equal because women, y'all just know how to cheat better.
I'm not saying that's not true.
I mean,
Obviously it swings both ways. But again, why would you want to go back to that?
Okay, you don't have to answer for that. Shane, can I?
come
Can
on
I
then, Marty. But you asking me, Nikki?
Yeah, what is it that you're absolutely trying to go back to? Just name one. The one thing I would give you that would be good to resort back to maybe would be grocery prices, gas price. I remember when gas was 99 cents a gallon. That would be good.
So for me, it's the morals, the values, the principles. Let me just give you one example, and then Marty, you come in.
That's why only reason I came back up, because I wanted to address your three things only in reference to Trump, not about what women did in the past or whatever. But go ahead. I apologize.
No, you good. So I'm speaking on the morals, the values, and the principles. Okay. And let me just give one example. Okay. Salute, Mel. Let me give one example.
Salute, guys. Hey, babe.
Hey, Mal.
Okay. The music. I'm gonna just speak on the music. Now, when you listen to a Run DMC record, when you listen to a Beatsy Boys record, you can basically hear morals, values. You could listen and hear principles that they stood on. When you listen to today's rappers, the morals, the values, gone out the window. They don't stand on no principles. So let's just focus on the music, all right? As far as bringing back good, clean, wholesome music.
Is Trump going to do that? How can Trump do that?
Marty, good question. That's why I said he can't do it by himself. He can't.
Okay, but listen, Shank, because I think you glossing over some stuff. I found this lady channel on YouTube, and she's so funny because she be singing all these old songs, and she was like, back in the day, we were bopping to these songs, and I didn't realize that Whitney Houston was singing about being somebody's side chick and taking somebody's man. And we listening to the word, oh, you're right. Are those the morals and values you talk about? Or, James Brown. And so you just listen to some of these songs, and again, I really just only know hooks. But yeah, when you listen to them, they ain't the morals and values you think they are. I'll give you one better. my son about to be 26, and back in the day he was watching SpongeBob. I thought SpongeBob was an innocent cartoon. I ain't know no better until I heard him singing one of the songs. And one of the songs, he's saying something about hair down there. I'm like, hair down there? What? At that time, he was about 5, 6 years old. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm calling everybody on the phone. It's SpongeBob for kids. What is this? Again, remember Mary Jane? I don't know how old I was when I found out Mary Jane wasn't a female. Come on now, you glossing over some stuff. The music was good. It might not be as volatile and wretched as it is now,
Right.
but it had a lot of hidden messages.
Right. And that's all I'm saying as far as, well, we know the side chicks, they've been around forever. They just called them mistresses. And what did they call them in the Bible? What was Sarah? And
A concubine.
the concubine. Yeah. So they always been around. But as Lady Cara was saying, it was just on the low, and it was with well hitting, and like you said, and it took you a minute to realize, they talking about getting down, like that song with Brandy. I heard a young dude on TikTok. The young dude was like, man, y'all old heads always talking about us. And he broke down the Brandy song, I Just Want to Be Down, with Queen Latifah, Yo-Yo, and MC Light. And he was like, listen to what they saying. And he was even saying, all this time, I never knew that they was talking about what they was talking about. So you're right. You're definitely right. The music was always, in my opinion, even Run DMC and the Beastie Boys talked about having a good time. But there was morals there with that good time.
Salt and pepper, get up on this. What we getting up on? So Shaq, I need you to come a little bit better. What is trying to take us back to?
I gotta drink my water. I hear you, though.
Get up on this. Come on now.
Slide in, Mel. I'm gonna come and slide in, Mel.
You guys are making me laugh. But I really forgot my train of thought. But listen to all this. I think when you talk about morals and values are taught at home, period. But
Agree.
when you think about, like, when we talk about morals and values, and even in the song, Nikki, you're legit, but Mary Jane was Mary Jane.
Mary
In
Jane.
the 79, everybody knew what Mary Jane was, girl.
I
But anyway,
didn't. I don't divulge
but
him. I don't partake in Mary Jane, Mel.
but
Sorry.
I don't need it, but let me tell you the difference in Rick James saying Mary Jane, and you go listen to some people out here today. Not only do they mention the name Molly, but also what Molly do. So it's a difference in the message. I mean, everybody had some type of message. But I want to. I just want to throw this out there. Fat Albert and the gang were just some little poor kids from the projects hanging around the junkyard, right? They was, they wasn't doing anything bad. They was just hanging out. They was boys, right? So this was like I can't even remember when the show started, but the Boondocks. I never watched that. To me, it was just a bunch of little and no disrespect to anybody in this chat. It was some little white kids hanging out at the playground. But it was the stuff that they were saying. And I just happened to be overhearing it. My son had to be around 8 years old. But oh my God, Boondocks, he's just piling up in front of the TV. But I never paid no attention because, when you walk by and look at the TV, it's just some little boys in the playground swinging in the swing and whatever. Until I heard them cursing. And I said, wait, hold on, wait a minute. These some cursing little kids. And they were like kids. So they developed a show to replicate Fat Albert and the gang, but they changed the way they behaved, the way they spoke. You see what I'm saying? So if we take it more into that, you think about, you know, my granddaughter was probably about 6, and she been in TV, and my daughter's. I said, "What she watching on TV?" Said Uncle Grandpa. Uncle Grandpa. Who made something called Uncle Grandpa? You know what immediately came to my mind when I heard about Uncle Grandpa? I was like, well, let me go see what Uncle Grandpa is all about. Wait, who calls somebody Uncle Grandpa? That means that's your dad and your grandpa and your uncle. You know, it was just all weird because I'm thinking, who makes a show for kids called Uncle Grandpa? That just was wild to me. Again, we have to look at the messages of these programs and the creators of these programs. Then you have um, what was it? Living Single. Just 5 friends just hustling, you know? You know, living like we roommates, we sharing the rent. You know, everybody's just on the road to success. And then you go back and look at Friends. That show was created, put Living Single off the airways. But look at the dynamics of those. Still 5 friends getting drunk in the club, this friend like that. It was just like it changed. It was like replication of the shows, but changed the narrative of the message of the show, right? Same with music. But even going into the um the gangster rap and all that, if you listen to some of these rappers, the older ones, and how what they talk about and how that came about, it wasn't their choice to go out and start talking about gangs and all that stuff. Because when you think about NWA back in the day, they were singing about what was going on in their neighborhood. Police brutality, no jobs, things like that. But none of them was singing about being a gangster and shooting up the friends down the street, as opposed to when you go and listen to the rappers of today. It's like, and that's why now we are, there's so many of those guys are winding up on Ricos in prison, some of them getting killed. But they didn't create that narrative for themselves. And I think this might have been last year. Saint probably don't remember, but I sent him a interview with, I think it was somebody interviewed Crazy Bones from Bone Thugs and Harmony, and he talked about how gangster rap came about. How it was a big meeting at these top executives' house in California, and they invited all these people, all these rappers. The ones that faded away and just began to rebrand themselves, they were the ones that wasn't down with that gangster rap, and then you got the younger guys coming in that, they want to be rich, they want to make it out, they want to take care of their families, but they're really forced to sing that stuff. They're forced to create those narratives about what go on in the Black community, but we all knew that wasn't going on in our communities. But they were forced to create those narratives if they wanted to make it in the business. And it just keeps going on and on. So I don't agree with, I agree with what you said, Nikki. The only way to the way to make America great again, you got to keep building. But it's just so much damn corruption that, and then you look and you don't know where to look because it's everywhere, in every industry, it's everywhere. And that's what the focus to me needs to be. You know, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, people enjoy going to work. Half of the people working in America now don't enjoy their job. They might enjoy their job, they just don't enjoy going to their job.
Let me just slide in. We all are saying the same thing.
But we're
Exactly.
not. But
Well,
we're not.
Marty, we
I'm
are
just
all
saying we're
saying
not.
the same. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we're not. And I understand you're talking about the music from yesterday and the music from today, the shows from yesterday, the shows of today. You still have not said how, with morals, principles, And what else did you say?
Morals, values, and principles.
Right. And like I tried to say earlier, tell me, with a man that has 34 convictions, the stuff that he did was not moral, was not respectful, was not values. The way he is on tape saying about grabbing someone's cuckoo, you
And
know,
I'm glad you said that. Come finish. I'm so glad
and
you said that.
so that's what I'm saying. He wants to make America great again. You talking about listen to the messenger, listen to the message. I am listening to the message. I'm listening to where they convicted him of 34 felonies. How is he going to make America great again for that? I'm looking at how he treated women, and these are white women that he treated wrong and stuff. Where are the values in that? How is he going to make America great again for that? That's all that I'm talking about. I'm only directing it to about Trump and those three things that you say that we need to get back to. And you said that Trump is going to bring them back. And I'm saying how, when he has all of this in the front of him. And then we're supposed to take his message. So it's like you can do wrong or I can do wrong, but you can't. I don't get that. And that's where I'm stuck at. And it's not that I'm hung up and got Trump running through my veins. It's not like that. I'm just saying the message that you're talking about, I want to know, how is he going to make America great again with all the bullshit he has on his plate?
Okay, now let me answer your question. Let's go back to Grandpa. We're going to go back to Grandpa and we're going to go back to Daddy. All right. Grandpa was around before the drugs hit the community. Grandpa was around when it was the liquor, the drinking, right? And the women. Like Nikki said, Grandpa had families over here. Grandpa had families over there. Grandpa morals and values was jacked up a little bit. However, it didn't stop Grandpa from teaching our aunts and uncles good morals and values. Who better to teach you what not to do but somebody that have done that? Now let's come to Pops. Pops was around during the alcohol days as well. Pops had families over here, had families over there. But I'm sure many of us that grew up with our pops, and to this day, many of us didn't even know how our pops got down, but our pops was out there. But our pops taught us good morals, values, and good principles to stand on. Now I'm going to bring it home. And let's deal with men from my generation. My kids can testify. My kids come back now, finding out things that I've done. And they say in a million years, because even though I lived a life over here, I still taught my children good morals, good values, and good principles to stand on. Now let's go to the women. I'm sure many of you all may have done a little this, maybe done a little that, but that still didn't stop y'all from teaching y'all children good morals, good values, and good principles to stand on.
You lead by example.
But can I just ask this? Are we all perfect, whereas though we was perfect? So when it came to teaching our children good morals and values, we were able to teach it because we were so perfect. Or, and I'm raising my hand, or we all did a little of this, did a little of that, but we still was able to teach our children good morals and values.
Which is true, but there's no perfect person that's walking the face of the earth.
And that's what I'm saying. So we don't have to always focus on, even Jesus said to the disciples, why thou call me master? Why thou call me good? Because remember, they referred to him as good. And he said, why thou call me good? No one is good, or no one is perfect. I had to get the scripture scholars to help me out with exactly what he said.
Yeah, because
but
that ain't what he said. But okay, go
but
ahead.
you
I know
know
what
what
you
I'm
did.
leading to. Even Jesus was referring to nobody is perfect. Nobody's good. So what I'm saying is God uses who God chooses to use. We cannot get caught up on what a person, like I said before, I don't get high, but that don't stop me from teaching other people not to get high. And nobody can't say, oh, Shank don't know what he's talking about. Shank don't get high. Now, I agree with Nikki. I agree with y'all as far as, and that's why I only set the morals, the values, and the principles, because going back in time to the way that women were treated, no, we ain't doing that. We ain't gonna go back to when women, and even to this day, like Nikki was saying, black women is at the bottom of the totem pole. But it was a time when all women were at the bottom of the totem pole. Women didn't even have a voice. So no, we ain't going back to those days.
All
Certain
right.
things, and I'm gonna let you come in, Nikki. Certain things, no, we ain't going back to. Hell no, to the no. That's why I only focus on the morals, the values, and the principles. Come on in, Nikki. And then Nola, you coming at the Nikki.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, Nola. I'm trying to follow you and I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay. And I promise you, I'm trying not to judge. But judgment creeps in. And here's why. Because agreeable that we all come with flaws. We all have faults. And I'm the first one, and my friends will tell you, I think that somewhere along the line, most people are redeemable. You come with flaws, but yeah, I think you have redeemable characteristics. You can be redeemed, even when you flawed. I do not judge every man by the last man's fault. I do not judge every woman by this woman's fault, and so forth. I just don't. So you'll never hear me knocking all black men or all women or whores. I just don't do that. I never do that. But here's what I will tell you. Sometimes the messenger is a problem. And I always remember this from when I was young. I remember when Magic Johnson came out and talked about having HIV or AIDS, whatever the case was at that time. And he was talking about how many women he slept with and so forth and whatever. And he was speaking on what he should or shouldn't have done or so forth. And I don't even know who the guy was. I think it was a comedian though. But the comedian said, man, I don't want to hear from Magic Johnson. I want to hear from Wilt Chamberlain, the guy who supposedly slept with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women and never caught HIV or AIDS. That's who I want to hear from. And sometimes I have to agree because you know what? And I tell this to Marty all the time. I go to church, I'm baptized, I don't know scripture. I can't quote not one. No, I do know one. Marty,
Jesus
what's the
wept.
one I know? Jesus wept. You ask me to quote scripture, that's the one I'm gonna tell you. Jesus wept. But I'd be damned if, and y'all gonna know who I'm talking about as soon as I say it, if Jamal Brown, the pastor out of Baltimore that is now in wherever he at, because he flies around, he's in wherever, he can't stand in front of me and tell me nothing. He can't tell me shit. Don't quote no scriptures to me. Don't tell me how to lead. Don't don't tell me how I act in my marriage. Don't tell me nothing about having kids outside of marriage. Don't tell me certain people can't tell me nothing. And I promise you, when I tell you Donald Trump cannot stand in front of me and tell me that he's against abortion when this man tried
Right.
to abort Tiffany.
Right.
He did
Yeah,
because he
I
was
agree.
cheating on his wife. And when Marla Maples got pregnant, he wanted that pregnancy hidden. And when Melania, whatever her freaking name is, got pregnant, he ain't want Barron either. But she was trying to secure her future. So I'm trying to follow you when you say don't kick the messenger. But sometimes I'm kicking the messenger right on out my goddamn house. You can't tell me nothing
I agree.
because you're the wrong person. I don't want to hear from you. Because if you just change it, your message, because you now trying to, I don't know what the hell he trying to do, become the most powerful man in the world. I'm sorry. And I yell, hi Nola, hi Tammy. I'ma shut up.
Let me get Nola in, and then Tammy, you can follow behind Nola.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, guys,
Hi,
I'm
ladies.
going to take you back to memory, memory land. Hey, Shank, do you remember in the Rock Squad? Do you guys remember LTD Group,
Yes.
Ohio Players,
Yes.
Commodores,
Roller coaster.
Commodores,
Yes.
Confunction,
Yes.
Whispers,
Yes.
Had a little
Oh, Lizzie of the
Santa
Solomon,
slave
called
got
Betty.
distracted
Sit
on
down
her
for a
way.
while. Let me tie your
What about
honey.
this song? Um,
Baby,
when
take
I
a
cry, I cry, 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 cry. Oh, 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 oh. And the
Lenny
tears.
Williams.
Yeah, that is exactly who
Woo!
that is.
They don't know nothing about that. Men don't know how to pull their tears out anymore. You know what I mean? Most men don't even go to church anymore.
Mm.
But anyway, with all this, God has the last say so. And
I
I'm going to
agree,
drop
Nola.
down. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
My bad.
Bye, Nola. We're gonna go to Tammy, then we're gonna go to Squeak, then we're gonna swing back around. Coming at the Tammy, Squeak. Come in, Tammy.
Hello, family. I just enjoy fruitful conversations and reminiscing over a time that was a pleasant time, a time that even with the turmoil and chaos being outside of us, that the things that we were listening to would soothe the savage beast. I think that that was purposely done when we look at the talent of our time. James Brown influenced multiple cultures beyond his generation. Michael Jackson said, oh, I dance like him.
Mm.
I got my moves from him. The whole rap industry used James Brown background to create their own background. And he was the only one that didn't sue him. He said, what do you know? These kids that made a new thing out of this music. They kept him relevant for years. We should have paid big homage to James Brown and Isaac Hayes for all the sampling we've done with their music. And they sat in a studio and came up with those tunes. Aretha Franklin arranged music, and other people sat by and added their names to her credit that took no credit in the work that she took. Stevie Wonder said he had songs in his head for years. Prince arranged his own stuff. We're talking about genius. That's a very small population. They are the abnormal ones. Because the rest of us don't have that talent or quality, but we know good music when we hear it. And it's been exploited. It's been exploited through a business, because when most of these people went in, all they wanted us to do was view their talent of what they love to do. And they wanted to be able to uplift their people. James Brown was the only one that had enough heart to say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. James Brown used Baltimore as his hub to make WEBB, We Enjoy Being Black. Again, an AM radio station, the only radio station in Baltimore when the rap culture first came in that would play our music. Because the payola system in radio wasn't going to let us in yet again. Dapper Dan has the same exact story as so many before him. Again, as I said yesterday, it has always been a fight. It has always been a struggle, and it's okay. But I came here today, Shaq, because you told me that we could talk about anything that we wanted. And I wanted to talk about diversity and inclusion, because that's what we've always been begging for. And we came up with a civil rights movement that most of our leaders, granted they were spiritual leaders, I think we don't need any more of those. We don't need any more spiritual leaders, because obviously they run us to a path of stagnation. And now the LBGT community have used, and I don't have anything against the LBGT community. I want to put that out there first. I love everybody. As a matter of fact, when I was coming up, I had a dear friend named Kenny that he hung out with us all the time. We love Kenny. And I miss Kenny. And I miss Kenny's boyfriend because he was good people. See, I'm into good people. I don't care who you sleeping with. That don't matter to me. See, I can hear the message of love, the base of love, without looking at the flaws of the character. I don't expect you to be to my standard. You don't have to meet my expectation, but I know what right from wrong, and my morals are individualized. See, I don't have a problem saying that I'm a drug addict, and it used to be a time that I didn't care about right or wrong. It was only about my desires. And if it took me knocking you upside your head or setting you up to get one more, I was willing to do that, and I could sleep fine with doing that. I am so very scared for us right now, because Donald Trump has a very organized campaign going on to no longer make us U.S. citizens. And he's doing it because he's using the LBGTQ movement, that he's rolling those things back. And they use the civil rights movement to gain momentum in their struggle. So when you start rolling that stuff back, you're rolling ours back too. And I'm going to leave it right there.
Let me let Squeak come in. Slide in, Squeak. Marty, turn your mic. Wait a minute, Squeak. Marty, turn your mic off. And connect your mic and your camera, Marty, so I could get you back up. Come on, Squeak.
Okay, I just came in. So what's the subject?
Well,
we went all over the place.
Yeah, we was talking about the times when America was great compared to 2025. But like Tammy said yesterday, remember I told y'all tonight we could talk about anything. So it's on you, Squeak.
Okay. As far as being America great, it hasn't been great for us. Never. It hasn't been. And it's because because they want to keep us down. They fear us. That's what they hate. That's why they hate us. They know us together, are a powerful union. They know that. That's why they hate us so much. What was the next topic?
Okay. Let me. Anna B says, I love the old music, but many define make America great differently. And Donald Trump isn't referring to oldies but goodies. And sitting on a porch, he's referring to business practices and no civil rights. Okay, now since you just coming in, Squeak, let me just show you. So I was comparing these days, you remember when the ladies was getting their hair done like this.
Uh-huh.
I was comparing the Baltimore Orioles. I was comparing Cooley High. I was comparing these days. I was comparing Punky Brewster. Remember Punky Brewster?
Uh-huh.
And as you can see here, you can see a picture of the little girls in 1984. Now compare these little girls in 1984, and you see how they dress, compare them to the way the little girls dress today. Let's go to Run DMC and the BC Boys, the music. The music was much better. And I must end it right here with Fat Albert. Remember the cartoons back then. So for me, I'm just coming from a standpoint of making the morals, going back to the good morals, the good values, and the principles that we once stood on. Come on, Squeak.
First of all, you forgot to mention the Black Panther. They were very important to us.
Yes.
Very important. They're the ones that created wow, what's that, milk and cheese and
Head Start.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Head Start. Yeah.
They created that. They fed the hungry. They fed us. They did a lot. And because they feared the Black Panther, they got rid of them. The white man fear everything, but they fear us the most. There's a reason for that. And we all need to catch that one right there. Believe in ourselves. Because as one, can nobody stop us. Nobody. We're that smart, we're that intelligent, and we're that strong, and we're survivors. We have it in us. It's in our genes. It's not going nowhere. We need to bring it out. We can't let these people just do things at a strike of the pen. Did y'all know that the judge today blocked the DEI?
Did what?
A federal judge today, female, blocked the DEI. The amendment that Orange Face signed, DEI, get rid of it.
Right. And I heard something very smallly about 24 states filed a lawsuit against him. That's what I was saying, that this is a very systematic way to roll the civil rights movement back and take away your rights as a natural citizen. So when sundown starts, you think they gonna stop with Mexicans? This is why he's having conversations about Iceland and Canada, because they want to bring more people that resemble them from other countries instead of people that look like us.
Exactly. Because look at this here, Squeak and Tammy, Mel, Shank. Let's even begin. Let's start the conversation and talk about why diversity, equity, inclusion was even started. It was started to combat racism, prejudice that was in the workforce, that was in education, that was in housing, all those programs where colored people were being excluded, where women were being excluded, where the disabled were being excluded, not because they weren't able to do the job, but because of their color, because of their gender, because of their disabilities. So let's look at why this program was even started, to give Black women, to give able-bodied men, to give Black men, to give women a chance to prove that we are worthy, we are able, because we were discriminated against, because the prejudice existed to keep us down, to keep a foothold on our neck. And nobody said that these people in this job weren't doing damn good jobs, didn't deserve the jobs that they were doing. It was saying that they were deliberately overlooked because of their color, their gender, and so forth. So these programs were put in place to combat that. So everybody that's excited that, they're trying to overturn these programs, I say shame on you.
Let me slide in. Appreciate that super sticker, Miss Parker. Appreciate the super sticker, Miss Parker. Appreciate that cash donation, 80s baby. Appreciate that cash donation, 80s baby. Now let me just ask y'all something. Between Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, who would have made the better president against Trump?
See, we're picking between two evils, as far as I'm concerned. The Clintons have a lot of power. All these people are in the interest of wealthy people. Their job is to keep the gap, the wealth gap, as wide as possible, and take the taxes off of the wealthiest ones. They are consistently hiding money and using other people's misery to gain capital. Point blank. I think that Hillary Clinton made a statement during her campaign. She said, he's in bed with the Russians. He said, she's a liar and a thief. Both things are true. They're both true.
Who makes the better president?
I do not trust Kamala Harris. The problem that I had with Kamala Harris is the way that they tried to slide her in. Had she started from the beginning, I don't think she would have gotten enough votes to be in. And I think they knew that. And I don't think that, to me, Ronald Reagan, the Bushes ran the country for 16 years because Ronald Reagan was shaking. He looked like he had a voodoo stick up his tail. He was worse than Sleepy Joe.
Stay right there, Tammy. Mel, who would have made the better president between Hillary Clinton and Kamala going up against Trump?
If I had to answer that question honestly, and doesn't have anything to do with skin color or anything like that, but I listen to what the candidate is going to do for the American people. And when you look into what they're going to do, I think I had discussion before with you, is that you let them lay out on the table what they're going to do, and then you're able to determine out of these things what is going to benefit me and my family. And I told you, to me, one of the most important things that was on her horizon was to bring back the first time home buyers program. See, those programs was always around for decades, but African American people didn't know about it. The farmers program. Majority of the palm people, I think I heard Nikki use that some biting, but that's how they bought their first homes, using governmental programs that African Americans did not have access to, or they didn't qualify for whatever reason. So to bring that back, I was pushing like, okay, my daughter's 23, she worked, she got good credit, I'm finna push her to buy a house, because she's now creating
Generational
generational
wealth.
wealth for her children. She don't have any, so she got all that time. You feel me? That's what I was the most excited about. Not just for my daughter, for other, young working African American kids out here that work hard, keep their and can utilize these programs, and to be awarded $25,000 and you don't have to pay it back. Come on.
Stay right
That
there,
was
Mel.
that
Stay
was
right there.
very, very, very important to me. It really was.
Stay right there, Mel. Nikki, Hillary or Kamala up against Trump? Which one?
To be fair, the country was in a different place when Hillary ran as opposed to now when Kamala ran. So I don't know if it's fair to pit their policies and the platform they ran on against each other, because even Donald Trump, the policies and platform he ran on against Hillary has changed from based on what he ran on against Kamala. So I would have had to have seen Hillary and what her platform would have been in this time against Donald to fairly answer that question. But my answer was always going to be, and Tammy, you got a good point. I'll piggyback on that in a second, that the country was never ready to elect a female as president. They just wasn't. So it didn't matter if it was Hillary or Kamala. They just wasn't going to put a woman in office. But again, as I said, Black women being at the bottom of the totem pole, they definitely weren't going to put a Black woman in office when they weren't ready to put a white woman in office. So, but I agree with Tammy that when Biden dropped out, I was a bit upset because I felt as though he dropped out too late and it didn't give us a fair bite at the apple to put other Democratic nominees up there for us to choose from. Us meaning the Democratic Party.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
But I mean, they just men in general. You Shank, you don't want a woman to be president, so
That's my
it
that's
just
my
wasn't going
next
to happen.
that's my next question. Let me get Squeak in and we go into that question. Squeak, Hillary or Kamala versus Trump. Which one of the ladies you think would have made a better president or won?
Kalama?
Kamala.
Yeah, absolutely. Reason why is because she had a plan that made sense. Okay. The other reason is I think she can hold up to Trump, as y'all seen during the debate. You know what I'm saying? Hillary couldn't do that. And don't forget how strong we are.
Come through, Squeak. And I just want to commend you for saying that. Kamala had a plan that everybody could understand and could see themselves benefiting from something that she was proposing. Me, I don't plan on buying another house, but I was thinking about all of the younger generations of these African American um, kids that are out of college and they're working hard, they busting their butt, they paying high rent, and then they want them to save $10,000 just to get a house. But for them to be able to do that under first time home buyers, then after 5 years, then you go buy you another house, and then that property becomes income property, then you use that money to pay off that property. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Yep.
But I can see many, not just not just many African Americans, but many other Americans in that same situation being able to capitalize it. But we always have to look out for ourselves. And I just saw so much promise in that. I saw a lot of promise in that.
Okay, now let me move on. Now, when it came to Trump and Kamala, at first my money was on Trump. I said, let me see what's up with the presidential debate with Trump and Kamala. My opinion, Kamala won the debate. And I voiced this. I felt like Kamala beat Trump in that debate. So I'm like, I'm not too sure about who should get my vote because I never voted before. 51%, 51% after that debate, 51% was going to Kamala. 49% was going to Trump for me. Kamala and Trump both lost me. And I'm going to tell y'all why I didn't vote for neither one of them. And I said this on my demonstrations, but that's neither here nor there. I know y'all wasn't there. This is why they lost me. Kamala lost me when she came with the Harris opportunity agenda. And that was all the things that she had included in that for specifically Black men. When she was, when she, and I'm gonna let y'all come in, when she was asked before about doing anything for Black people, she specifically said, she stuttered, then she said, I won't be doing nothing just for Black people. And if I did, and she stressed this, and if I did do something for Black people, it would have to benefit everybody. So in my mind, why all of a sudden now is she coming with an agenda that she said that she wouldn't? Now, in that agenda, that Harris opportunity agenda, it was strictly for Black men. So I pretty much already knew the reason why she done that is to win over the Black men votes. Now, I'm with you, Nikki, and the rest of y'all. My opinion, and I gave a demonstration about how the Democrat set Kamala up. They used Kamala Harris for a guinea pig. It's no way in the world with 102 days remaining for her to prepare a successful campaign to run up against Trump. We can say what we want to say, but Trump had his hardcore base, his fans. Those that was voting for Trump, they was voting for Trump. However, when it came to the Democrat side, a lot of Democrats backed out of voting because of, like you said, Nikki, the Biden and Kamala situation. Now, let me come to Trump. Why I didn't vote for Trump? Because I can't remember how long before the election, but remember it was a Black Trump supporter at one of his rallies, and 3 white Trump supporters beat the Black Trump supporter down. Trump never acknowledged it, not one bit. For me, and I said this, for me, right there, can't rock with you. So for me, I didn't go with either one. Now, my opinion, Hillary would have made a better president than Trump. My opinion, give Kamala 4 years or more. Give her time enough to prepare to run against Trump. My opinion, Kamala would have beat Trump. My honest opinion. My honest opinion, Kamala would have made a better president than Hillary against with Trump, although I liked it Hillary. Now, let me bring this question to you all. I don't have a problem with a woman being president. I don't. What can Black men, let me just stay right there. What can Black men do to make Black women's lives better? Y'all can come in however y'all want to come in. Y'all can spend as much time. Just know that it's other ladies that need to speak, but go ahead.
I do not personally think it is the condition of the Black man to improve my life. His presence is wanted, but we have had so much trauma generationally to our families that most women have described his presence as not needed. A need is for my survival. A want is a desire. So, because of so much trauma, that he has experienced, whether it's mass incarceration, whether it's lack of education. There are multiple things that I believe Black men face that may be different from other men of nationalities, but that still doesn't give him a pass. Because I agree with the other sister. They don't come and rob the weak and steal the weak to build the country. They get the strongest ones. And resilience isn't something that you're given at birth. It only comes through experience. And just because I've experienced something doesn't mean I know anything. And it seems to me that the Black man has failed to learn from his experience. He has failed to make a sacrifice and stand up and to be accounted for. And the reason that I say this, that every time a Black man gets a certain statue, he either turns over to the LGBTQ community, or he feels like that this Black woman is no longer the representation that he wants to carry his name. And they start to look like, what's that sister that OJ killed? Sadly to say, Nicole Brown Smith. If we just look at that by itself, what was that, 1995? That was the first time in American history that a Black man had been accused of doing something to a white woman, whether he did it or not, and got away with it. Didn't matter whether he did it. White America is used to seeing Black men going down for just the accusation. And we haven't done anything to change that narrative. And like I said, Trump did very well in his first term of running the judicial branch.
Let me slide in, and I don't want to cut you off. Trump is off the table.
Okay.
What can Black men do to help Black women, make Black women,
we have to be a part of the community. Somebody has to make a sacrifice. They don't want to do anything unless they seem to be getting paid for it. And like I said yesterday, we'll never catch up. So we have to be invested in our own wellness. Somebody got to run the Little League, and you got to do it for free. Somebody got to go out and talk to neighbors. Well, if you could just donate $1 a month, maybe we can get something for the kids to do. It's just where we are.
Let me let Nikki in. What can Black men do to help Black women, protect them? And of course, I don't mean from a standpoint of, y'all need us and, y'all can't make it without us. Just, some things that I could pitch on some demonstrations. Hey, look, fellas, this is what the ladies are saying that we could be doing to help. Come on, Nikki.
The biggest thing, and I agree with everything Tammy is saying, but first of all, just stop turning your back on us. Stop turning away from us. Stop not making us your ideal. Like Tammy said, the blonde hair, blue eyes, the Asian features, all those others. Stop choosing other. That's the first thing. Because we're the first ones to stand by you, support you, hold you up, cross the picket line, shout, scream, get you out, visit you when you're in jail. We're the ones to take care of your kids, and so forth. So that's the first thing. Stop turning your back on it. Second thing is support. You don't have to be jealous of the Black woman because we choose to become educated, successful, and so forth. Let us not just be your helpmate, but let us stand by you, beside you, with you, so we can build together.
Let us
that's
be
the biggest thing.
I know that's it, right?
Support. Let's do this together. Because when you became successful, and I don't mean you, and I certainly don't mean every Black man, you turned away from us. And you left us. You left us in the ditches. You left us to take care of the homes by ourselves and to rear the children by ourselves. You left us no choice. And so then when we go out here and we become educated and we become successful, then you tell us we're smelling ourselves and we think we don't need you and so forth. But we had no choice.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
just slide. Let me just slide in, and this for humor. It's for humor. Cape Cod says, "Be like our grandfathers were for their families." You mean that like that? So we can have outside families? It's just a joke, y'all. It's just a joke.
You know what? If you could take care of them outside families, that would be easier to bear than you being gone and I have to support everyone and try to raise the young man too. I'd rather for you to be dead.
Stay right there. Finish up, Nikki, and then I'm gonna come to Squeak and Mel. Finish up, Nikki. I ain't mean to cut
I
you off.
was pretty much done, but nah, you can go somewhere with that funky shit. My grandfather having 2 or 3 families. Nah.
But that's what Cape Cod said now. That's what Cape Cod said.
Well,
Be like our grandfathers.
some grandfathers were good. Not all men were, creeping. Some were good. Like not all black men were creeping and had side families and side chicks. Some were absolutely a-okay. But nah, some were not. So again, I hope
Squeak, Mel.
First thing is respect. Second one is support. Y'all didn't support us in the election. Y'all did not. And the third, I just rode home and coroner was out there, cops was everywhere, the Rangers was out there. 18-year-old got shot and killed by a 20-year-old. We need you to take care of our sons, help us with our sons and our daughters. Teach your daughter what a good man is, what's allowed, what's not allowed, how to present herself as a lady, and give her that strength as a woman. So that means you got to get in the community. Bottom line, you got to take care of the children. This is ridiculous. It's like every day kids are being shot or missing or something.
I want to stay with you, Squeak, but I want to go back. You mentioned that we didn't support y'all during the election. Elaborate on that for
me. 42 million people didn't vote. 42 million black people did not vote. That's not support. That's
some of them Jehovah's Witness. They use the religion for the reason they don't vote. It's a whole bunch of stuff wrapped up in there.
So is that CPAC and Donald Trump and all that billionaire stuff. They using their religion, right? But you don't care for women's died because she couldn't get an abortion. That's not Christianity.
Especially when you can't feed them.
And church and state is in the Bible. It's separate.
Go ahead, Squeak. My bad. Go ahead, Squeak. My bad.
I'm done.
My bad. But I'm gonna go to Mel, but I'm coming back to Squeak because I want to really, really chop it up about the whole thing with the black men not voting for Kamala, the black men not supporting Kamala. I want to come back to you, Squeak, because I want to know. I really want to know. And I want the ladies to fill in with Squeak. Do y'all feel the same way? But Mel, you answer the question as far as what can black men do to help y'all, protect y'all, assist y'all?
I'm going to answer that question in reverse. I think black women need to, I don't, it's only if I go somewhere, but not really, but it's not a daily thing for me. But I think we as black women need to strip ourselves down. I'm not talking about our brain, our education, or our hustle. I mean, take off the fake lashes, all the makeup, stop getting the BBLs and just be natural. Because now men are like Zuzu pets. I don't know if you guys know what Zuzu Pets was, but you know, a decade ago they came out with these little rats that ran by batteries. They called them Zuzu Pets, and they created all these mazes, and you just turn them on, they just run around the maze. Men are running around in a candy store because they got all this stuff to choose from, because it's all visual. If women, if you know, because and it is still going back to the 70s. Like, I mean, even you know, when I was in high school, I mean, like me and my friends didn't wear makeup. You know, the only time you put makeup on your face is when you went to the prom. But other than that, we didn't wear makeup. You know, we didn't have fake lashes and all that stuff. So men kind of was a little different. But now they're like they're in a candy store. They're forgetting about the principles and the values of being a family and raising their kids because they're running around like, you know, I just think about it. What if black women just strip down, just took off all the makeup, wear our natural beauty, you know, forget the BDL, whatever you call those things, and the lifts and all that, and just be natural. So
They're
then
too
they
afraid. They're too afraid. You know, they talk about imagery and idols in the Bible, and this is what we've been sold. We've been sold imagery and idols, and we've been told when we look at us, our dark skin is unwanted. But yet, you take a white woman and put a tan on her, and she's exotic.
All right,
You know,
stay right there, Tammy. And I don't mean to cut you off. I just gotta balance out the panel. Let me come back to Squeak, okay? Do you really feel that black men didn't vote for Kamala? And do you feel like we should have voted for Kamala? Come on, Squeak.
Yes, that's part of supporting us. Support us. We ain't dumb. We are very smart. We're very intelligent. And
Stay
men
right,
are too. But, you know, if we feel strong about something, support us.
stay right there, Squeak. I'm gonna come back. Because I gotta. Okay. Do you feel the same way, Tammy, that we as black men should have voted for Kamala? Yes or no?
I think you should have voted for a woman, period.
Okay, Mel, do you think black men should have voted for Kamala?
well, since she was the only woman, then yes, I do. I feel that way.
Marty, do you think black men should have voted for Kamala?
Well, I think everyone's vote is their own. You vote your conscience, but if you go back and I say the totality, the entire context of what we stood for as black people, I believe that they should have voted for her.
Nikki, do you think black men should have voted for Kamala?
I don't think black men should have voted for Kamala just because she was a black woman. I think based on what Trump was offering and what he's now doing, you guys should have looked at the bigger picture and saw that Kamala definitely had more to offer you guys as men. And what Trump is now doing to you, the country, the Constitution, and women overall, that you had more to lose by voting for him. So yes, you should have voted for Kamala.
All right, everybody can come back in because it's like I hear y'all. I hear y'all, and I guess hold tight, Tammy. I'm gonna let you come in because I guess because I was listening to Aria Spears, the comedian that imitate the different people, DMX, Denzel, and all of, and it was funny. But he said white people was asking black people, "Are you voting for Obama just because he's black?" And Arias was like, "Yeah, let's get the first one." He said, "Yeah, let's get the first one then for whatever reason, and then we can worry about getting the right one in." I get it. I understand it. So I guess it's more like, hey, look, Kamala, no, she's not perfect. And this is how I'm looking at it. But Trump is not perfect either. Help get this black woman in, get her in first, just to change the dynamics, change some things up. So I could understand from that perspective. And like they say, really, when it comes to Trump and Kamala, you just voting for the lesser of two evils. And it's just going to be your perspective. My perspective might be Kamala is my perspective might be Trump is the lesser of the two evils. Y'all perspective might be Kamala is the lesser of two evils. And that's why I wanted to ask that question, to really see, why do women, particularly blacks, feel like just off GP, we as black men should have voted for Kamala Harris?
What did you have to lose?
No, but can I add on to that, Shank?
Come on,
I
Nick.
think black men in general have become jealous of the success of black women.
And that could be true.
And y'all put us in a position to need to become more successful, because as we all kind of been stating on this panel, y'all left us behind, you turned your backs on us, you disrespected us, you left us in positions where we had to be the primary caregiver and so forth. So you put us in positions to have to go out there and become go-getters. And once we did, you become jealous, envious of the black woman. So now you're turning your backs on us more so and don't want us to succeed. And I think some of that showed in I refuse to vote for her because she's a black woman.
And I've heard and I'm gonna let you come in, Mel. I've heard the Minister Farrakhan make reference to that several times, as far as how black men degrade the black woman, how black men don't want to see the black woman level up or want to see her in a position higher than him. So I could accept that. Come on, Mel, slide in, Mel.
And I'm just going to piggyback off Nikki. Look at her husband, how he played his position. He didn't lose his manhood. He didn't lose who he was. He still handled his business or whatever his business was. But he also supported everything she did. He wasn't talking trash, home pouting, looking at her sideways, you're doing too much. He supported everything she did. He was there walking and talking and whatever. But he still had his own, career or, situation going on. He didn't take from her and she didn't take from him. But he played his position. He let her do her, and he supported her every bit of the way. And that's the difference.
I think that black people are at a disadvantage when it comes to voting. They are the people who just came on board with voting in the last 60 years or so. And so there are a lot of things about the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch that we simply don't know. When it comes to voting for judges, what do we know about our judges? That was the first thing that Trump changed in his first presidency. I blame the woman that sat on the Supreme Court because she wanted Hillary to win. She thought Hillary was going to win and therefore took that vote from Obama to change the Supreme Court. And now we have a rogue Supreme Court. I just think that there are so many mistakes made that I think that I can't even call them mistakes anymore. It's the same coin, a different side of how they plan to get the greater goal met. I think that, far as I'm concerned, that I've always been told that the black vote isn't enough to change anything. They told me that Obama got in because of white women, not because of black vote. So if I listen to the message, what am I really hearing about me? We talk about the problems, but we don't put enough focus on the solutions, so it always seems like we're complaining. I think that the biggest advantage that we have, and it's sad that so many of our young people are dying. We need to be the one harvesting organs. We have to find a way to make money off the misery of the ones underneath of us. Once we do that, we can get some doctors, some lawyers employed, because obviously organ harvesting is big business from the strongest people on the planet. We have to find some way to be the producers of some things. We need some land to be able to cultivate our own food. We have enough technology that we can build stadiums of farms if we wanted to. We don't have to make lab meat. I don't even have to eat meat for real. And I'm still going to be thicker than a Snicker. So I think that we consistently believe that our problems and their problems are the same. We have some very existing human issues that we can resolve together, but the bigger goal, we won't be able to resolve that together because they have always made money off of my blood, sweat, and tears, and they want to consistently make money off of free labor. And we have to find a way to undercut that. When it comes to buying houses, you can buy all the houses you want, but if they have laws like eminent domain to take them, what does that really mean? If they're going to start burning them down like they do in California, what does that mean? We really have to find more than one way to successfully infiltrate the system that has historically kept us at a disadvantage. Somebody has to have that conversation, and it ain't gonna be no preacher or Dr. King. Somebody is gonna have to make yet another sacrifice. And maybe it'll be some young people that are just sick and tired of being sick and tired of, us blowing smoke up their tails and not giving them anything to live for.
Let me let Marty and Squeak slide in. Slide in, Marty.
Well, actually, I wanted Mel. I wanted to comment on something that Mel said about what can Black men do. But then she said she wanted it to go in reverse. So she was saying that women should go back all natural, don't wear any makeup and things like that. Right? You said that, Mel. Did I misquote you?
No, I said that. I said that maybe women should strip down because men seem to be more focused on the outer part and then
Attachments,
on the other part. So what if we just strip down and they didn't have all that
distractions. They be looking at
distraction?
boys.
Okay, the BBLs I can get with. Cosmetic surgery, I can get with your statement. But the makeup part is, people wear makeup for various reasons. Um and it's sometimes, if you're having a bad day and you want to feel good about yourself, you present your best. So sometimes you want to put on a little foundation to hide this little blemish that you have there. That's for self. That should not be for a man. And even though you're right, men do look at the nowadays, the young woman with the huge behinds going on or the implants and stuff. But sometimes women do that for them and not for the man.
I mean, I agree, but sometimes that what is all attention's not good attention. So again, we still feeding that narrative of what the man's intentions are. I'm not saying that all men are like that. I'm really not. I'm not saying that all women are like that. I'm just saying what if we just come back that and just, just take away some of their distractions? Because distractions can stop anybody from doing anything that they should be doing. I do see now that, and I'm really thinking about the foundation of it, but I just don't want to say it because it's just too much. But there was a time when I was in high school, and probably when most of you was in high school, every Friday night it was on and popping because, you know, the the football stands would be packed.
Girl, it was on and popping
It
in
was
my
packed, and
house.
then this, and then at the as generations changed, and crack came on the scene, and this, then the kids were playing football on Friday nights, and there's nobody at the games.
Friday nights
Now
we were
it
at
now
home.
No, 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 no. Friday night. That
You said
that
when we were
that.
in
What?
school, right?
Like when I was in school, and
Friday nights
they played
you
football
was at
game on
home.
Friday night. The Okay, well, you was at home, but on Friday nights it was football games. So if it was a home game, everybody's at the game. The football stadiums would be packed. They're right at the school. So, but then there was a time when the generations began to change, and then the kids was playing football, and their parents, because they were young parents, were in the club. They were doing them, and nobody's at the football game. Then, a decade and a half later, now the football stadiums on high school level are now beginning to fill up again, as there's more moms and dads supporting their kids, because now they're seeing that there's possibility there where they can make a better life for themselves, or they're trying to keep them off the streets because the streets is not like the streets used to be back in the day. It's mean out there, so they're trying to support, and maybe that will make give men a reason to stay around, and just make a family and be present. Because
Right.
They have
it's
to
too
leave.
many young kids being missing, and young men being murdered, and it's a lot. So that something's got to be enough.
Right.
But when we think about it, and I think you said it earlier, how the Black Panthers had programs. The government took over those programs. The government wasn't giving us no cheese at first. They
Yes,
took their ideas
they
and said,
created
"Oh,
WIC.
we'll provide for you now," instead of us doing it. And what did they do with them? They labeled them terrorists.
The Black Panthers created the WIC program. They created WIC.
Right. But they labeled them terrorists. In Baltimore City, we have a thing called Safe Streets. That program was developed in Philadelphia first. And everybody that was a part of it, and it came from the brothers that was outside of jail. See, part of the problem is that we let other people define us. We let other people validate us. It's the imagery. And until, again, we have to volunteer for these positions to come out and help educate. We have to pick a day, whether it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and we have to community organize again. We have to try to give these young people something to look forward to. Otherwise, this is going to get worse. And then they're going to be crashing out. And our children are going to be under attack. That's their dream. That they can just come and gun us down with no repercussion. We're not even going to fight back. Sort of like what Hitler did to the Jews, so they say. But far as I'm concerned, our Holocaust is the one that is still going on. But see, when I
But
talk
Tam,
like that,
I'm sorry, babe. Go ahead.
when I talk like that, I become the enemy. People look at me as aggressive because I'm not afraid to speak what my truth is. I love my people, point blank, period. I got married to a man, and my sister said to me, "Why would you marry him? He doesn't meet her standard. Why not?" We doing this together. Once we got married, we were a unit. We're one now. And she don't get to talk about it. And so now me and my sister are not speaking because you can't respect my family that I have created. We don't stand on enough morals to make this happen for all of us.
Stay right there.
Those programs you're talking about, Tam, I'm from Baltimore City as well. I'm now in the county, but these are the same programs that I'm speaking of that I'm asking they not cut funding for. Because once you cut funding for these programs, where are these kids going? Once you cut funding for these men that are coming out of jail, where are they going? Once you cut funding for those who have addictions, what's going to happen to them? Because, see, I'm a psychologist and I'm the one that's fighting for these programs. And what I'm saying is stop cutting funding for them. We need these programs. We need the rehabilitation. We need the education. We need people like you. We need people in the community. We need the support. And I keep saying each one teach one. But once you cut the funding, once we're no longer putting the money out there, then what? Just like you said, what's going to happen? And as you stated, your voice, someone's like, oh, she's aggressive, she's angry, she's an angry Black woman. They don't want to listen to you. And it doesn't matter if where you come from, what neighborhood, what your past is, or even that you may have helped, that you out there with boots on the ground. Because I feel the same way. I feel like that everything I've gained, I'm trying to give back. I tutor, I teach, I'm on community association boards, so forth and so forth. I give, I participate in almost any and everything. But again, first thing they see, Black woman, loud Black woman.
It's unique here. It's very unique. We have more mental health institutions in Baltimore, Maryland, than probably in any city I've ever, and part of the problem is, okay, I'm gonna tell you, I did some work in 2013 and I started to understand how things work a little bit more. I went to a place called Paul's Place. Paul's Place is a soup kitchen. And so I did this because I was in recovery and I wasn't working and I needed something to do with my time, and I decided to give back to my community. And I didn't really understand how I was going to give back, but I wanted to keep myself busy. So I go down to this soup kitchen and a place called Baltimore Recovery Corps. They have a 5013C. And what they said is, hey, do you think you can go down into the 21230 and see what that community needs? I said, what do you mean see what they need? Like go door to door? What else did I have to do? All I wanted to do was not get high ever again in my life. So sure, I went down there and I started knocking on doors. Hey, my name is Tamala Jones. I'm volunteering from this community. I just want to find out what the needs are in this community. I created a tracking system, right? So once I did this for an entire year. So the biggest thing that people said is they needed on-demand drug treatment as well as affordable housing. So when it came to affordable housing, I went back to the people. I said, look at all these people. Can we get Habitat for Humanity down there? Maybe for some of these abandoned houses? How do we get that need to the community? You know what I was foolish enough to do? Put all that paperwork into the hands of a white man that wrote a grant for it and then told me he didn't need my services no more. And what I created is now a paid position and still operating today. What it let me know is I had a skill I'm not using.
Wow. I can believe it.
Let me just slide in and I'm going to slide back out. How do we break Willie Lynch's creation? How do we break what Willie Lynch created? Come in, Tammy.
I think that that mental health trauma has an awful stigma on it, like we're supposed to be beat, and never be affected by it. And I think that we have to destigmatize our trauma and say it's okay to hurt. We know we're all going through the same thing. And I want to love on you. Love has to be the base. How can I help? I have to be able to meet you where you at. I can't take you to a place that you're afraid to go. If you're living your life by fear, I'm going to tell you to let it go. Because we're not in control of tomorrow. We're in control of our decisions, not the outcomes. I think we have to have another way of teaching our young and teaching each other. And like what we're doing right now, we have to continue to advocate, because only so many of us may listen now, but who knows if we keep giving the message, how it grows. We have to be able to connect to the young people, because they're the ones that change the world.
Come in, Nikki.
We changed the world. Y'all changed the
And
world.
I just have to piggyback on what she's saying, because for the longest time, mental health, mental illness was a bad word in the Black family. Bad word. You didn't get to have a mental health issue. You didn't get to have mental illness. Get over it, regardless of what it was. Abuse of any kind, get over it. Move on. You didn't get to talk about it. You didn't get to speak on it. And that's what I do, Tammy. I advocate. I'm a big advocate. So I agree. Thank you.
Yeah. Slide in, Marty. How can we break what Willie Lynch created? Squeak while we wait for Marty. How can we break what Willie Lynch created?
First of all, women can wear whatever they want to wear. You know, if they got that butt out, if they got long johns on, whatever. I mean, it's whatever makes you think you look cute. You know what I mean? I you know, mind your
You
business.
still think it's about imagery, sister? You still think that, because I think the minds of the masses is so sick. Can he really handle her beauty exposed like that without being distracted from what's real and what's happening in his moment? He's so, our Black men, even our bodies have been sold. They selling the Black woman's bottom to white women. They selling butts. Look, I'm known as a flat butt Black woman, but it ain't as flat as a white woman's. So I'm still one up in the game, and I still ain't gonna buy no bottom. Because it's just, I mean.
Well, that's the good part about America. You could do whatever you want.
Why
You
can't
know,
I be
so
okay
just
with
because
me?
you don't like it and you don't think it's okay, don't mean it's not okay for somebody else.
But this the problem.
We all
It's
can't
killing
dress
us.
alike and look alike.
It's killing us mentally and it's killing us physically, because Nicki Minaj and them other sisters with money, they not telling you that they going back into surgery every 6 months, that they patched up, that they have to have some, that they scared to fall on ice because one of them might fall or bust. These things are relatively new. I have a hip replacement. This thing hurts sometimes. Why am I going to take the fat from my stomach and put it in my bottom? And guess what? I'm thinking that fat tissue not going to try to find its way back to where it came. It's not going to create pockets. It's not going to create health conditions. I think we're looking at imagery and we're not thinking of what mental and physical wellness. I'm trying to attract you to the wrong parts of me when you
But
should be up
Tammy, your
here.
self-image does affect your mental health and your well-being. So I think I have to agree with Squeak here. It's not about trying to measure up to the next woman. It's all about making yourself feel good. So if you want to keep your ass flat, then so be it. I'm right with your sister. I'm not going out here and trying to get surgery either. But here's the other thing. If I want to paint my nails and wear a little lipstick, then I should be able to. because I should be able to do what makes me feel good. And it's not about trying to please the man or the men across the street or around the corner. It's not about trying to get them to accept me. It's about me feeling good about myself, because that's going to help address my mental health. If I feel as though I look good, then I feel good. And so I'm putting on a better image. I'm making myself feel good. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling love. I got to love myself first.
You're
So if
right.
I don't want my hair to be kinky and I want it to hang a little longer and straighter, so therefore, well, I don't wear clip-ins, but if I want to do that, I do that. If I want to straighten it, I do that. If I want to paint my nails, I do that. I'm not talking about walking around here exposing yourself. I ain't talking about being sexy red. I'm talking about just boosting yourself, your confidence, and making you feel better. Little polish, lipstick, getting your hair done, lashes, if that's what it takes to make you feel good. It's not about pleasing a man or keeping a man. It's about making you feel good as a woman. I'm
Hey,
all
Rick.
for that.
I understand that.
Oh,
I have a story. Last week I almost died.
okay. After that, I'm gonna slide in. But go ahead, Tammy. Tell your story.
Last week I almost died. My hair is gray. I am only 3 years away from being 60 years old. I'm 57 years old, and I'm like, I'm not comfortable with the gray. Usually, my hair will grow and it will grow long, but I usually keep it shoulder length or I wear it even shorter. So I'm sure you can recall many times throughout the years my hair was shorter, where I would wear it close cut. For some reason, my mother has gray hair all the way past her shoulders, and it looks beautiful on her dark skin. For some reason, my mind is not right with growing old, even though I should be grateful and appreciative for what I do have, and my hair is not thinning. I still have full hair. I went to the hair cuttery and let them dye my hair red. I ended up getting 4 EpiPens and on the floor and carried out because I went into shock because of the hair dye. Life challenged me to be who I am and
Yeah,
be okay with it.
I agree with you, because every half of the people on this rock squad know, and all my girls know, I'm allergic to everything, including hair dye. So I don't get to color my grays either. I'm allergic to hair dye, bee stings. I'm allergic to medications. I'm allergic to damn near everything you name. So I'm with you on that.
Me too.
But again, if I could just wear a little lipstick to make myself feel better, then so be it. I can't color my hair either. I just want to say that I'm not encouraging women to go au naturel,
Let me
because
slide
I think that's going to make the men come back. Go ahead, Shank.
because I want to, and y'all maybe didn't hear me about the Willie Lynch, but I want to focus on Willie Lynch. How? Why did the Willie Lynch formula take such a deep root in our psychology for generations? Willie Lynch came up with the system of playing the dark-skinned slave against the light-skinned slave, playing the male slave against the female slave. We can still see Willie Lynch's system that he started, what was it, 400 years ago, going on
It was
500?
1712, I think,
17,
something like
17.
that.
Now, Willie, he said that you will control
Yeah,
these slaves for
it does.
300 years. Go ahead, Squeak. Go ahead. You say something, Squeak.
Oh, shoot, I thought my mic was off. I'm sorry.
Okay. So he put this in the 1700s, and he said it only going to last. You'll rule them, you'll control them for 300 years. It went past the 300 years. The black man against the black woman, in my opinion, was the greatest deception, was the greatest tool that Willie used against us. How is it that our enemies, how is it that our enemies can come up with all these devices to keep us separated We know this. How is it that we as black men and black women can't break it?
Because it's always being implemented. It's being implemented through redlining. It's being implemented through the employment. It's being implemented through the school system. It is embedded in the system, and it is constantly effective. This wasn't just one speech on the bank of 1712. This was consistent. He was a military man. This was a military operation. So that's like saying, how come they killed bin Laden? Because they were consistently going after him. That's why. They have been consistently going after us, and it was a military tactic. And they implemented it in all the systems that we need to survive. Not the things that we want, but the things that we need, like food, water, and shelter, security, safety. Those things were not extended to us. As a matter of fact, the same police officers that protect them, we still see them killing us on the TV. These images, we can't take them out of our mind. Oh, you know what? My grandmother had a dark sense of humor. When they beat the shit out of Rodney King, she acted like it was a comedy hour. She was like, look at this fool. He's still begging. Why can't we all get along? They must have knocked the sense out his ass. The hell he care if somebody getting along? They almost killed him. Since when do I not feel some type of way when I'm under attack? That's why. And that was the imagery that they wanted to show you. You can almost kill me. And I'm going to say, hey, buddy, can't we just get along? Or George Foreman, Mommy, help me. I'm a grown man. Those are the images they want you to see. So every couple of years or so, they get an officer and they go here and they put on their shit show. They go here and they go into somebody's house and kill a defenseless woman in her kitchen because she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He like, oh shit, that's voodoo. Shoot her. We can go again and again and again and again and again for years and see that same imagery. Who else gone through that? The Jews ain't gone through that. We're the ones that are constantly exposed to Willie Lynch, his Gestapo tactics. That's what I'm gonna call them. So once we start speaking to truth and calling it what it is, we will then be looked at as domestic terrorists, because that means that we're against the system that works for them. So we have to come up with a different language. We have to be able, again, not looking for so many other people to validate us, to get along with us, and find more ways to be independent from them. You know, Willie Lynch wanted to keep slavery. He wanted to keep control. That's what this is about. It's about my mind, not necessarily my body. Once you got my mind, my body gonna follow. Once you free your mind, you're going to be most likely standing alone. And more times than not, you're going to pay the price. I'm one. I done crashed out more times than I like, and I paid the price for more times than I like, just simply because I'm willing to speak up.
I've been there before.
So, Shank, I think the question you're asking, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is how did Willie Lynch manage to cause such division?
How do we
and
break
conflict?
But you can answer that too, Nikki. But how do we break it? You can answer that.
How do we break it is the same that I was touching on. because the reason he was able to cause that divide is they focusing on, and even though they're saying the Willie Lynch letter was a fraud, well, whether it's a fraud or not, the mechanics of it are still the same. You're focusing on our flaws and our deficiencies and what makes us insecure. And so then you're able to pit Black people against one another. And that's what's causing the divide. So again, just like we're up here talking about whether or not we should go natural or wear makeup or wear wigs or not, it's based on an insecurity or what we perceive as a flaw and what we think needs to be fixed or addressed. So therefore, somebody can come in and nitpick at what I may think is a flaw about myself. And then to have another, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a Black woman, but just a woman, period. Focus on that. And of course, it's going to cause tension. Of course, it's going to disrupt how I feel about myself. And there's the beginning of that division. And there you have women pitted against each other. But that just runs deep within the Black community. So that's how it begins. But how do you fix that? That's, I think, what you're asking is you start to build up Black people's self-esteem. You start to educate them and you start to teach them to love themselves, regardless of what the next person thinks of them. So that's how we start to address it. Because regardless of whether you think my hair is nappy, I'm going to love it anyway. And no amount of bullying or what you say to me is going to make me feel bad about my hair texture. And we see that has been something new that has come about in this last decade or so, teaching Black women and maybe even the men to love their hair texture. They're even making products to wear your hair naturally or curly and to manage it and maintain it. So I'm seeing a lot more women and men rocking their natural hairstyles. So again, it's helping to build that self-esteem and teaching someone to love themselves and to gain acceptance in spite of someone wanting to bully them.
And not living in fear. We cannot lead and live in fear. We have to feel safe
Absolutely.
and secure.
Agreed.
It's a part of self-actualization. You have to be able to feel safe before you can go to the next level.
So many people will never reach that level of self-actualization, though. We recognize that. It takes a whole lot of work to get there. A whole lot of work. A lot of deep introspection has to come. So many people not even ready to look inside themselves and recognize their flaws and admit where they're wrong. And say, not only am I willing to forgive myself, but I'm willing to forgive you. I'm willing to move on. And if you don't forgive me, that's okay. I'm willing to move on also.
Absolutely. I have to have a level of acceptance.
Takes a lot to get there. A whole hell of a lot.
But I think we can, and I hate to use this word because it's not intentional, shortcuts that say, sister, I got you. You know, we have to come up with catchy slogans. We have to be able to put because we can't go straight to the bigger picture. We have to task manage a movement that says, what's the bigger picture? We have to be able to take baby steps. You know, they had a movement called Why Women Cry. And they would go around conventions all the time. Maybe that might be the answer out this time. We have to have conventions. We have to be able to promote. Just think about it, Shank. Think about when rap first started and y'all was spinning on y'all heads. Like I said, you got Asian people and they got an Olympics for it now. But we let it go because we were looking to be validated. And like I said, they had a whole police crew, a hip hop police, and so many other things.
You know how many
Just shut
times?
it down.
You know how many times they ran us up the shopping center? You know how many
Absolutely.
times we would go down the harbor? You know how many times the police would come and break it up? People from New York, the break dancers from New York used to come down to Baltimore and break dance and competition was out. You know how many times they ran us from down the harbor?
Nonviolent communication. They didn't want that. They don't want you to occupy your time doing things that are helpful because they know that dancing and music gets natural endorphins flowing and helps you heal. Laughing helps you heal.
We was 11 and 12 years old sneaking out the house to go to rhythm skate out Ricestown Road. We 11 and 12 years old. I'll never forget, that was the first time I ever seen a gun. That's the first time I ever had a gun pulled on me. I was 12 years old. Dude was getting ready to get me for my blue Kentucky starter. He talking to Park Heights. He talking to me now. I'm 12 years old. My mother told me, do not wear that jacket without me around you because they robbing people for them jackets. Me.
I remember that when that kid got killed.
Yeah, I'm up rhythm skate, Ricestown, Park Heights, and the dude walked right past me. He pulled a little 25 out on me. He said, I went to Kentucky. He said, but it's my buddy turn to pick which jackets we get. He said, see that dude right there? See that guy right there? He had a slick chocolate 3/4 lambskin on. He said, my buddy want that. He said, but if we don't get that chocolate lambskin, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get this Kentucky up off you. I'm a little kid. I'm 12 years old.
And he see that you are a soft target and he's an imbecile. He's probably dead now.
And look, and they beat the hell out of my man. I mean, pistol whip him. This is my first time seeing any of this action. I'm 12 years old. I've never seen none of this action before.
Didn't see the police then.
I want to go up Ribbon Skate, Old Park Heights, right there. So when they beat him down and pistol whip him and they take the lambskin from him, they come running past me. He's smiling at me. He said, I told you was good. I told you he was good. Look. And I'm just looking. It was me and Merk. Tommy might have been with me, but I know it was me and Merk little brother. And me and Merk, we just looking at each other. And he like, yo. And I was like, my heart like boom, 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 boom.
Got to keep you in fear.
But like you said, whenever we create something, whatever it is that we do, whatever it is that we bring to the table, they find a way to swipe it up from under us because we sell out. We see the $5,000. Remember Ice Cube and NWA. And NWA got mad at Ice Cube and thought Ice Cube was this and that and whoop-de-woo-woo-woo, but Ice Cube seen it. I'm writing pretty much all the records for NWA besides MC Ren verses, but I'm writing all the Eazy-E raps, and I ain't gonna get no 75,000 out. Was it 75,000 or was it 7,500? I can't.
It was 75,000, but he had enough sense to know. And then before that, they removed Public Enemy.
Remember? And listen, y'all, they made Chuck D and them fire Professor Griff. Now,
right.
Professor Griff was the Minister of Information. He's the one that fed Chuck D and all of the information. And also, Professor Griff is the first. He's the first YouTuber. All the other YouTubers in the black section and all that came up, they came by way of Professor Griff. Professor Griff, that's who Nick Cannon was listening to. That's who Nick Cannon had on the show. And
they had to shut him down. He was too much of an influence and had a platform. And they did the same thing to Mos Def. But what they did to Mos Def is took his citizenship. And Obama did that And they're going to continue to do that. That's what all of this is about. They are really going to put you in a tent somewhere else. You know, it's very easy. When we talk about these laws, they have already reversed, what is that? Roe versus Wade. That's serious business. So I think that too many of us don't really understand the position that we're in. We're not prepared for the fall, and we are too reliant on these systems. Well, you see these plants I got around my house? I'm trying to grow tomatoes inside the house. I'm trying to grow herbs inside the house. I'm trying to learn how to cook noodles and have potatoes made outside. And you know what the city of Baltimore said? You can't have a garden out there because it draws rodents. All I got to do is plant mint around the edges, and those rodents won't be there. They don't want me to have any level of independence to feed myself.
That's facts. That's facts.
Because once I don't need them anymore, then what happens then if we all do this? We have to figure out where, even if we all decide, oh, I can plant an apple tree, I can plant a pear tree. We have to do something like that. We're going to have to. And I guarantee you they're going to make a law to stop us. This is just the nature of the beast. We should be expecting it. We need to boycott Amazon. We need to boycott. Everybody should be turning that X shit off because they want to control the narrative of what kind of information, because them kids stay in these damn devices.
But you know what's going to happen when a few of us come together and actually boycott Amazon. You know,
we're going to be targeted.
And the majority of our people gonna come up with all kinds. I don't know what's wrong with them, or I don't got no problem with Amazon. So it's like
and that's okay. They can die. See, that's what happens with big countries. I can't save everybody. I gotta rule with an iron fist. Take them. You love them so much. Take them, but don't come back. Like I said, when I look at life and the way it is politically, I'm like, okay, Trump got it. Let the shit fall apart. Let's get with it. I'm not afraid of my fate because I'm going to stand strong in my faith, and I'm going to stand strong in what I believe in. And guess what? Tammy got a couple guns in this motherfucker, and I'm going to shoot back. Sorry. And guess what? I teach my children the same thing. Ain't nothing wrong with taking them to the range. Ain't nothing wrong with teaching them your history. Ain't nothing wrong with teaching them the history of the United States. It's nothing wrong with talking about the psyche of these people who constantly attack us. But they will dare not write a book about that. Because what type of person really does all the atrocities and all the contributions that they really gave to the world? If you want to talk about that, you won't be talking about a lot of good deeds. You talk about murder, killing, and slaying.
That's what we got to focus on. We got to focus on ownership. We got to focus on whatever it is, even if we don't see the finances from it. If we create it, we gotta focus on the proper paperwork. We gotta focus on the ownership. You know, like I said, even if whatever it is, whatever product that we produce, even if it doesn't take off for another 20 years, when we are no longer here, we gotta focus on that ownership.
Do you know in Baltimore, Maryland, they done shut down Drew Hill Reservoir and the one on Hilton Street, and don't nobody know where they took that water to or what they gonna put back in there?
Wow. And that's That's Baltimore. Drew Hill Park.
That's a need. You need water. Not one politician or nobody stood up. And I keep asking, when you call down City Hall, you can't get no response. When you talk to those people over there off the Hilton Parkway and Liberty Heights, they paid for the view of that little reservoir being right there in them single family homes over there. Now it ain't nothing but a big ditch of dirt. And then people like, where that water at? They're not giving them a response, because where I think it is, I think it's out in Towson. Because when you go in Dundalk and Middle River, as long as I've been in Baltimore, it's always smelled like shit out there. Always. Don't ask me why. And now they're trying to create those same conditions in the places we live at. Now they're talking about they want to correct the injustice that was done to those people where the highway to nowhere. All those houses were taken by eminent domain. I grew up in West Baltimore. That's where my family from, South Baltimore. Sandtown. That's why I was rough by default, because my grandmother and them lived in the projects. Playing inside was just like playing outside. When you fall off the bed, you hit concrete. I done had my head busted, my mouth busted, my whole right side broke.
What year you moved around the way, Tammy? What year you moved around the way?
My mother moved up at the top of the Alameda, and the summer of 76, like 77.
77.
And it was such a culture shock, because y'all was leaving y'all bikes and shit outside. Where I came from, we ain't leave our stuff outside. Y'all had mothers and fathers. My father was deceased, so it was a big culture shock for me. You know, I come from a place, I was taught how to catch the bus at 6 and 7 years old, Super Sunday. See, where I came from, there had to be a level of independence. Like I said, I would walk up the street to Fayette Street, but I had to ask permission to go up to Monroe Street, because when I was little, Monroe Street was always a strip. And the Black Panthers used to have a little church down there that they used to educate the kids in the neighborhood. And my grandmother worked at Barnstable Court Hospital, and my mother was a nurse. So now they looking for a better way to live, and they take me up on the Alameda, and I'm like, I don't like it up here. They don't sit on the steps. Ain't no corner stores. I'm enslaved to this way of living, but I was around my people, because when I came up, those corner stores were owned by Black folks. They wasn't owned by Koreans.
Yep.
My grandmother didn't like the fact that there was a bar on every corner, and that's why she moved up on the Alameda. Because she said, I can't stand these damn winos and smoke hounds. So what did she do? She moved up on the Alameda. And the summer of 77, at 6th grade, I went to Chicopee. By that time, she said, I'm going to try to buy a house as a single woman. And that wasn't an easy thing to do before 1980. My mother went back to school, even though she had a nursing degree, and went back for biology. What did that mean? You had a disgruntled teenage person in the house and 2 other children, and I'm running the street because mom is trying to make it. Our women, I watched your mother when Mr. Mack died. I remember talking to your mother. Miss Peggy said, I'm going to go get a job. And I remember talking about Journey. She said, I don't know what Journey going to do, because if his father was here, he would never be doing the things he's doing. Yeah. I said, wow. I wasn't used to that. I go across the street, Leon father over there. You know, Joy and Teresa, they got a father. Everybody got a father but me.
Yep.
I remember Mr. Marvin asked me, you know, I do little shit. Where your daddy at? One day I got slick. Where your daddy at? Ask me where my father is. Stop asking me that. Where your father?
Because all of us had fathers. We all had
Right.
fathers.
Right. So there was a value there. Women became okay with, you know, the women before us, they like, well, we don't want to have too many children out of wedlock. This was a value for them. The next generation didn't have that value. Well, I don't care what he do. My people gonna help me raise my baby.
Yep. Yep. That's facts. That's facts.
It started to shift. What do you do? We still trying to love on each other. We still trying to support one another. But we're in a disarray. And I agree with the good sister when she say, and now they're exploiting our flaws.
Yep.
It could have been some great things they talked about, but they chose not to focus on those things. And it's unfortunate. But it's conversations like this. If we can have a conversation that says, where can we start? I swear, I think the answer is we got to get some doctors. We got to get some nurses. We got to go start talking to some people. And when these young people start dying in the street, okay, we like to be a part of the research. We like to be a part of the organ donation. We like that's the easiest thing. I'm sorry that this young brother is lost, but we got to be able to make some money off of this to carry the rest of us on. Then maybe one day we could start paying for those funerals.
I agree. I agree.
We got to start planting our own food, testing our own soil. We got to start educating our children. Hey, we need to give our children information. What you want to be? You want to be a police officer? Let me start teaching you how to be a police officer right now. From day one. If you want to change your mind and be something else, have at it. Go to school for something else. Jewish people do that.
Yeah.
They have their own schools. Why can't we?
Yeah. Don't they? Cross, go up Ricestown Road, or go up Park Heights. Start at the bottom. Go up the Northern Parkway, cross over Northern Parkway, and what's over there?
I lived up there with them. I lived up there with them. I know I was up there near Slade Avenue.
And it's so clean. So clean.
My husband from Park Heights, he told his brother, he said, I'm still up the way. He said, up the way where? He said, I'm on Slade Avenue. He said, what the hell is you talking about? That ain't up the way. You in Jewtown. I seen a sister, this is no lie, she was a white woman. And she was standing on Northern Parkway in Park Heights. And it was snowing. And I'm looking at it with these little dirty tennis shoes on. I rolled my window down. I said, am I supposed to believe that you've been standing out here in the snow in them motherfucking tennis shoes while all them black girls down on Ricestown Road selling their ass and you up here begging money and ain't nobody robbed you yet? What are you, a fad? What are you up here doing? I got more sense than what I look like. You know, I ain't never see her no more after that day.
Wow.
We got all these people standing around in their communities. We don't know what they doing. I have never seen so many beggars making begging a hustle.
We let any and everybody in our community. You see what happened. You see what happened when we go in their communities. If they don't call the police on us, they chase us down and shoot us. They ain't letting us come up in their communities for nothing. Even when we own homes in their community. Look at, and I was going to do that story on the black farmer out there in Colorado. I was going to do it today, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow. He got arrested because he was calling 911 so many times, telling them that his neighbors has been sabotaging his farm. He said that the neighbors will park in front of his driveway and just was harassing him. And he called 911. Every time he called 911, they never sent nobody out there until he called so much. They came out there and arrested him and his wife, a black farmer out there in Colorado.
So we need to support him. What is he growing? What did he want to do? Can we go back to crop sharing? Can we have a little small part where you're willing to make some? We need to get back to what Dr. Sabi and them knew. All of them people are dead.
Let Nikki slide.
Shank and Tammy up here holding discussions like they Trump and Elon and don't know goddamn body else exists. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
I'm sorry,
Don't worry about the rest of us. Y'all go right on. We'll keep quiet. We all over here in the corner just listening to y'all making plans for the rest of the country and shit. We don't matter. Go on. Carry on. I'm going back on mute.
I'm sorry. It's just an idea because I want to save us. I love us so much.
That's the
I ain't got to know you to love you.
Right. We all are so compassionate, and we all, I ain't gonna say all, but the majority of us, we want to help. But it's the division, it's the, the falling outs and the bumping heads and the I'm not fooling with her no more. I'm not fooling with him no more. And it's just like you just look, because like I say, just the stories that I've been covering, like you just be like, we gotta do something. I gotta do something. But like the black farmer, I mean, they treated the brother, they've been treating the brother so greasy. So I said I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to cover that story. But how do he get locked up? He got arrested. He said all the times that he called and made the complaints, they never sent no cops out there. Never.
They want him in fear. And he's gonna be in fear. And like I said, we gotta be able to support him in some way. You got a sister here that killed her own father for changing, and she changed the locks and killed that man.
I covered that yesterday. You was in here, wasn't you?
I don't remember hearing you talk about that.
I talked about it. That was the demonstration before you came to the other demonstration. But I covered it yesterday.
Mental health is real. Sister, you're a psychologist. I mean, you're in a wonderful position. I don't have my degree. I'm hoping that Powell Recovery will help educate me, but it's starting to look like the time I'm putting in there, I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but I got to find a way to pay for my education. But maybe all of us need to get LLCs. Maybe all of us need to get 5013Cs. Maybe we all need to build some type of foundation and start shifting money around the way wealthy people do. We need to start paying attention to how they do things.
I definitely think you on the right track though. My brother and a friend of the family, a real good friend of the family, both was fast tracked and gained their licenses and work in the addiction field, just based on the fact of their past addictions, and they're doing very well. Me myself, I went the long way. I got my bachelor's first and then my master's, but they did exactly what you're doing. And one of the programs you spoke about, my brother speaks there a lot, and he travels around and does that type of work. So they have a lot of money and programs out there, and our mayor was Brandon, just won money from that big lawsuit that we won, and they're sending people to school with that money from that money that we won from the opioid suing the opioid company. So I would look into that, Tammy, because I think you would be great at that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. If somebody could come up with a curriculum, maybe we can present something to Baltimore City Schools for sexual health and recovery and bring these teachings back of what can we do when we know that a parent or a loved one is using drugs so that the rest of them don't follow the lead of the ones before them. How can we save ourselves? What is it that we understand about fentanyl? What is it
Oh
that
my
we
gosh, you
understand
hitting
about
the nail
mental
on the
health?
head. Because see, I keep saying stop trying to get rid of these programs. My daughter used to be a teacher. Now she's an administrator in the Baltimore City school program. I'm in the Baltimore City school system. And so I'm saying, y'all are taking away these programs, but we need them. You know how many young kids are in the school system and their parents are on drugs? Maybe through no fault of their own. Maybe they were sexually assaulted. Maybe they were abused. For whatever reason, the programs are needed. You know how many grandparents are raising their kids, but they're not very able bodied. They can't run back and forth to the school systems. They can't do as maybe a young mother or father would do. So their hands are a little bit tied. We need these programs. We need to fix what we can fix. So stop cutting the funding. That's all I'm saying. You know, we need it. We need it drastically. And I say this because I heard it so much. I worked in a system, I worked at a penal system, and so many times. And so your voice is important. Shank, your voice is important. Miss Parker, I heard your story so many times, my brother, Pee Wee. But so many people have said to me, because I never had an addiction, I just had my master's degree. And so many of my inmates would say to me, with all due respect, you don't understand because you don't have an addiction. So they want to listen to the people who come from the place that they've come from. So those who go back into the system and learn and get that education and then come back to these programs and teach and educate those who are now going through that struggle. That's what they need. They need your voice. They need those voices of the people who've been through exactly what they've been through. It's not to say that there aren't ones who don't listen to me, but they definitely want. Marty said, I got an addiction. What's my addiction, Marty? I'm scared for you to tell me.
That's the first thing. Addiction is not about drugs. It's
What's
about
my
the way
addiction?
I
Oh,
think.
she said, shopping. Okay, you got me. You're right. She's absolutely right. Every day there's packages arriving at my door. I can shop for anything. Okay, Marty got me. She outed me. But yes, absolutely, Tammy. Please look into that because your voice would be so important. I know that you're already out there, boots on the ground, advocating, but voices like yours are so important. And my whole family advocates, to be quite honest. And I don't say this much, but my baby, my son, is a police officer. So again, every all of them aren't bad, you know. And again, my daughter is an administrator. She's in the Baltimore City school um system. So we need all the help we can get. That's all.
We have to make those connections though, and too many times, like I said, the good brother Eric Brown, he is running one of the safe streets. And he running a little league. He doing things, but then you
Right.
have Sinclair Industries that run Fox 45, and they paint this bad picture for people who are not in those communities. And I had to keep telling people that I encounter, I'm sorry, yet we don't have these squeaky clean images so that you can validate our presence. But we know who we are and we know who to extend our kindness and our children to.
Yeah.
And I know that this man has good in his heart, regardless of his own past and the mistakes that he made. He actually coming out here and volunteering his time. So how dare you to break him down and what he doing and talk about his past to dismiss the good that he's doing now?
Right. And I mean, I hate to piggyback on this, Shank, but again, I mean, if you can be a convicted felon and become president, how you could do anything.
Yeah, that means
Your
they need
pen
to take
shouldn't
that
stop
question off of the every application that
you.
exists.
Exactly. Exactly. That definitely shouldn't stop you.
But we just learned this two set of laws because those people clearly broke the law and people were killed on January the 6th and all of them were pardoned. But yet Marilyn Mosby can't get a pardon for something that everybody does that she did. That was supposed to be a smart move on her part because I've never heard the courts defining what a hardship is for somebody. How you
Mm,
going to, just because I got a raise, a
yep.
hardship for me ain't going to be the same thing as a hardship for you.
You're absolutely right, especially if I'm used to living a certain way and I've
Right.
entertained a certain lifestyle. I absolutely agree with you.
But yet they still have that woman under house arrest because they were angry at her because she spoke up against power, and that
Because
is the
she went
sacrifice.
against the Baltimore Police Department. You're absolutely right.
It was a price to pay, and we need
Yep.
to back her up. But that's not happening in the way that it should. Biden should have pardoned her. And the fact, but we don't have the right voice. And I said that we should have went to Trump before the election and say, look, you can have the black vote, because there was an argument that could have been made that, the Dixie Democrat, we didn't always vote Democrat. We
We
used to vote
didn't.
Republican.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this word, hate. I hate the way they distort that argument because back when we voted Republican, the parties were somewhat switched. The ideals were switched. The Republican Party represented what the Democrat Party now represents, and vice versa. So when they present that argument, they make it seem like we were for what the Republican ideals were, and that's just not true.
I think that the Republican ideals switched to a more, to me, the whole inauguration looked like Stalin. And when that kid put out his right hand, they said, oh, that's not what he meant. So now we're not to believe our lying eyes.
Exactly. And someone got fired for pointing that out. But I mean, I stopped dealing with Twitter a long time ago, and it's certainly once he took it over and it became X, I just deleted it off my
Right.
devices. I don't have time for him. I don't have time for him.
And they talking about going to Mars. I was thinking about, here we go again with the interplanetary shit.
I
Like,
mean, he
what are we
another
going to do
one,
in
Tammy.
Mars?
Look at him. When you talk about morals and values, look at him. Look at how many baby mamas he had. Look at how many of
Right.
them he didn't marry. Look at how many kids he had. I mean, come on. Look at how he treats his kids. Look at how much time he actually spends with any of these kids. Come on. I mean, y'all got me effed up for real. I just can't. I ain't got time for him either.
I think they're going to have a falling out at some point, because when I looked at the inauguration, and I keep pointing out to people, I have the
You
utmost
laughing, Shank.
respect for Michelle Obama. She has not showed up for any of this stuff.
Mm-mm. She has.
Exactly.
She has.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. She said to Obama, look, you was the president, not me. You got a job. You got a duty to do. I see you when you get home and make it up to you. But as for me, nah.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I ain't showing up for that.
She said she ain't going. And
And,
she
and,
ain't
and,
going.
and she was right. Even Hillary Clinton looked like, okay, here we go. Here go the clown show. Yeah, she a tough old bird. You gotta respect her. I don't think she no pushover for Bill, and I don't think she gave two coots about that little Monica Lewinsky. I'm gonna tell you, she an older woman.
She
She
was
chopped that
glad
up to
she
stuff
had
I
the
ain't got to
door.
do.
She was
She's like,
glad
oh, I
she
ain't
had
got
the
to do
door,
that
Tammy.
then. Right.
That's what it
And
is.
that's how she did that
That's
one.
what it is.
That's what it was. She was like, shoot,
Well,
somebody got to do it. Glad it ain't me.
Right. And stuff I ain't got to do. Thank you, young lady. Oh, Lord. And she made a day of it. Look, I always love talking to y'all. It's 5 minutes after 1. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I got a group at 1:15.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say the same thing. Y'all see
Right.
me cutting my camera off. Them Tylenols done kicked in. Any last words before we get out of here, Tammy?
No, but I love having an intelligent conversation that not only discuss the problems, but try to put some solutions out there. And I think the more solution oriented that we become, maybe something will be viable. Maybe we can connect to some other people that got some things going on. Maybe we can all do a 5013C. If they did that, they would start shutting it down, because then we would be able to advocate for one another in a different tax bracket.
I agree.
They don't want that. What happened to that?
I agree. Any last words, Nikki?
Nah, I'm again just thank you. Always a pleasure talking with everyone in the chat. Thank you, Shank,
It
Tammy,
absolutely
Reese.
is. Nikki, you're an intelligent woman. I like to hear you speak.
You too. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
I mean, we all from Baltimore, home of the Oreos.
Them
That sounds
Ravens, they
sweet.
betting
Go
against each other.
Ravens.
Go Eagles, baby. EATLES. Eagles. We
Let me
getting
Oh
ready
drop.
yeah.
to hunt.
Let me drop
I
Oh
some.
my
gotta say go
goodness.
Eagles for Squeak. Go Eagles for Squeak.
Any
We
last
Love
Getting
y'all.
will.
ready
Good
to
night.
hunt, baby.
Any last words, Squeak?
The man just trust in us. You know, that's all we ask, and support us. We tired
I
of
know
going to
that's right.
struggle by ourselves. We tired.
We should have a convention for that.
It's not that we tired. We're tired of y'all not doing your job.
A convention. Where my man at?
Let her get her last words out, Tammy. Go ahead, Squeak.
And that was a great demonstration. That was cool.
Appreciate you. And no Eagles. No goal. Matter
Yeah,
of fact,
we finna cook.
hold
I
up.
know that's right, sister.
Hold up. Juanita, you gonna let her talk about your commanders like that?
It's going down.
Juanita, you gonna let her talk about your commanders like that?
You know it's not happening in our house.
I thought the Eagles gonna win too.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All
All
right.
right,
Thank
have
you,
a
Shank.
good one.
I appreciate it. This is the conversation that we need to have on the regular. So I gotta make sure I send y'all the links. I gotta make sure I set the demonstrations up early, and that way I can send y'all the links, so that way y'all can be prepared and all of that. So
Okay.
all right, Tammy, I appreciate you for pulling up. Once again, y'all, it's up to us. It's up to us to make a change. And I think these conversations that we've been having, I think that we're on to something. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute. I'll see everybody back tomorrow. Salute. What went wrong with the Baltimore City Police Department and Freddie Gray?
Give me a Mac and a 9 and I'm armed to do it. I had them slugs run up in you like embalming fluid. I'm out that mob and I got the scars to prove it. What's the point of holding heat without the heart to use it? Cops are clueless, so they can't stop the movement. I'm a YG nigga and the Glock is ruthless. FM is the main attraction. Aim the Gatlin and watch niggas fall like it's a chain reaction. Mainly stacking, now that the game is black, and I'm the first in command and Shank rocks the captain. And my flow changed from white gold to platinum. I put the yay down, Cuddy. Now I'm finally rapping. Better lay down, buddy, or you know what I had.
The first thing that went wrong was they pursued her. They never were supposed to pursue her. They didn't have probable cause to pursue her.
This is real Baltimore. No. This is what people have to wake up and wonder where they're going to go to get them in.
That wasn't the first riot. The first riots happened with when the Baltimore banks made bad investments, you had a riot that was known as the Baltimore Bank Riot. I don't want to make it seem like I'm bashing the mother of the year, but we have to look at how they played that whole situation. It goes back to the old Willie Lynch. When she went upside his head and smacked him and everything. Now, if I'd done it, a black man would have done that on national television. They would have locked me up.
I'm from the city that reads, my city still bleeds. And homicides multiply like cops with keys, you do the math. On my block you won't last, as a youngin' had to be gunning and you won't last. Don't show me a cannon, my reach too fast, don't think I wasn't. Got the rumor mill buzzing, my hootin' sent your cousin back to you with a concussion. Just cause my teeth is flashing, didn't think that I would blast him. Not unless he touched my faction, then we gotta get the mashing. A DE will be catching, rest in pieces with they tagging. You never catch me bragging, that's the code I live by gladly. Protect me and my family, cause silence is a virtue. Then them boys, they come to hurt you, and who you gon' run to? They labeled you a cold blue, now your own family don't know you. Your neighborhood don't trust you, now see all the issues go through. Snitches get stitches, man, for running your mouth. On my block, not the corner, not the wire, where the cops cock and fire. Ain't no way to get you higher, it's my block.
Now let me take it elementary school. The man has to step up and take his full responsibility back into the community. Your OGs, I need the OGs to be real OGs, man, and let the young ones know that it's not about banging that gun. It's not about killing, but you know, teach them, man. Look, go to school, get an education.
We out that mall, and it's simple and plain. Lane that we headed to the